1, 2, 3.
Football season is weird because we actually look forward to Mondays. It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. If athleisure was a radio show, this would be that radio show. Bo Bishop, a man of fine taste and Montana class.
My wife will try and drag me to like an Easter brunch buffet, and I don't even like that because I don't like everybody standing over food I'm going to eat.
Friends with the highest intellectuals.
We found out the hard way. We have white furniture. That's all I'll say.
What a mess.
Oh, God. Holy
Literally.
An athlete, coach, husband, and father.
That drives me nuts. My kids are, I'm him. Shut up. Are you kidding me? You're 9. You're not him. I don't even know what the hell that means.
And two guys who are considerable downgrades from a former football player. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo the boys with you for the next 3. Tyvis is here. Reese is here. Bill Connelly, ESPN, going to join us at 9:33. Austin Ward at 10:33. We will blitz college football championship weekend coming up at 11 o'clock. But, of course, we begin with the Buckeyes, and the assignment is now known. It was widely accepted at the beginning of this season that there were 4 teams that were more talented than all of the rest. And by now, you already know the answer to this question. If you've been listening at all, it was Ohio State, it was Oregon, it was Texas, and it was Georgia. Those are the 4 that were separated from a talent standpoint. There was some conjecture that maybe Bama, with some of the leftovers from Saban, was maybe that 5th team, and at times they looked like that. But it was those 4 that were the consensus, and that was what we said on this show. Paul said that anytime we had him on. Jake Trotter usually was in agreement with that when he joins us on Wednesdays. That those would be the 4 teams that were separated from a talent standpoint to from everybody else in the country. When you see that bracket revealed on Sunday, it is not lost on me that if Ohio State is to win a national championship this season, they're going to have to beat all of them. They have to beat all 3. That's the path. It is the most difficult path of any team playing in the first round. It's not particularly close. Yeah, you're in. Great. You were done no favors by the committee. This was a team who, God almighty, you got the amount of penalty that they got for the loss to Michigan is, honestly, it's hard for me to – you can't cry over spilled milk because you lost a game you shouldn't have lost to a bad team. Mm-hmm. So this is what you get for it. But the idea that Penn State has that path and Ohio State has this path, it's hard for me to wrap my head around. I don't even think it's particularly close in terms of the most difficult path to win a national championship. If they win it this year, they will have earned it.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at Tennessee, Oregon, and then probably Texas, then maybe Georgia.
You're going to have to play them all, T.
That is a very tough path. But you know what? This is a big year or a big moment for Ryan Day. You know, the big thing, which I think I tweeted out, I was saying that when you look at Ohio State's path, like, is all the demons that they've had over the past couple of years, the SEC, Oregon, you got to slay all of that just to win the national championship. So it definitely changes the narrative. I tell you what, when I seen Penn State at the 6 and I seen that path, I said, well, first of all, I was like, it's baloney because Ohio State was a better team and I felt like they should have slid down. But it just goes to show you, I guess they really do value the conference championship games. And
no, they don't.
They have to. I mean, they have to.
They picked and chose if they did. My God, they have Clemson behind. Clemson's a lower seed than SMU.
I mean,
we watched the game.
Well, I mean,
Clemson won.
Yeah, but Clemson.
What are we doing?
Resume-wise, I mean.
It's resume-wise now. Okay, resume-wise. Okay, so what's Texas's resume to be at 5?
I don't know. They're like Penn State. They're really like Penn State, where they have they have no real good signature win. Like,
we can't throw stones at them because we played the same opponent they did, and they beat the brakes off of Michigan and Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
the brakes, and we got beaten here by them. So we can't throw stones at them. We live in a glass house. But Texas is 5. They totally pick and choose what they wanted to make this bracket based on no standard that was universal on the teams.
The only thing you can agree with is that they got the right 12 in there, right? Or do you think Bama should have been in over SMU?
No, I don't think they have I think what they did is, in an effort to avoid litigation, they opened this up to teams that are not among the 12 best teams in this country. And I think if you're looking for proof of that, all you have to do is look at the spreads of these games.
Ain't they like 7 or better?
Clemson at Texas, 11. Tennessee at Ohio State, 7.5. SMU at Penn State, 9. Indiana at Notre Dame, 8. They did not pick the 12 best teams. They were worried about antitrust litigation, and so they opened this thing up big.
Who would you?
Boise State gets a bye? Arizona State gets a bye because they won a conference? You're going to tell me that Boise State, and look, they beat everybody that they're supposed to. Their only loss is a loss by 3 at Oregon, the number 1 team in the country. That's a legitimate loss. Do you know how many teams in their league have winning records?
2.
3. 3. Now, you're going to tell me that Boise State's path was the same path that Ohio State went down? Was the same path that Georgia?
Oh, well,
Boise State, guys, just so we know, just so we're clear, Boise State was given more of a benefit of the doubt than Georgia.
Well, we already.
Georgia's played, what, 6?
6. Yeah.
6 ranked teams. They beat Texas twice. They beat Clemson. I mean, how many ranked teams has Georgia played this year?
They did play a lot of rank.
And you're telling me they have the exact same benefit of the doubt as Boise State?
Well, that's
what we're doing?
We already said that the conference champion thing was. I think we said that last week, where it's like I think they messed that up. They're giving them the automatic bye. You should have gave the 4 best teams the automatic bye. But I guess
have done the conference championship tie-in.
Well, they might get rid of it, maybe, but I don't think they will, Bo. I had this conversation over the weekend. I was doing this chalk talk, and I was like, they was like, you know what? It's too much money involved. Like that's the conference championship is like makes a lot of money, for companies, and it's like. Well, when it comes down to that money, that's always going to be the leading factor. So I don't know how they get rid of it. How do you get rid of a game that's a big money maker for you?
Especially you replace it with a 16-team playoff, and you have those 4 games take place of the conference champions, and then you're good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Reese, what'd you think?
Well, I know we'll get into it in greater detail at 10 o'clock, but I think to answer your question, Tyvis, you expand the playoff and you reseed after the first round. Hell, I'd be okay if you reseed after every round.
I would too.
You got to get rid of the buys.
Yeah,
buys are nonsense.
No,
they're nonsense.
No.
These conferences aren't all the same. They're not created equal.
Listen, you get a bias to the 4 best teams. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not the maybe it ain't the.
Well, how are you going to decide that when it's an entirely subjective approach?
Well, you got a point there.
Yeah, I think the way they had set this up at the beginning or whenever they announced the 12-team expansion and they gifted the conference champions or the highest ranked conference champions first round buys, and they did all that nonsense. What they showed on Sunday was that. So I don't have a huge bone to pick with it. I could do the OU gaslighting here with if you look at
stay there for a second.
If you look at Arizona State's 2 losses, Texas Tech and Cincinnati, OU's 2 losses were Kentucky and Syracuse. And OU got their 3rd loss. Sure, we can have that, but then they put the boots to Miami in the conference championship game.
You can even do it. I tell you what, you can do it with Army, for sure.
Sure.
Army's only losses to Notre Dame.
More so than Boise State.
They've lost to Notre Dame. That's it. Everybody else they beat handily, right? So if we're going to play that game, you can play that game all you want. I'll tell you what this would have been like to me. This would be like in the NCAA basketball tournament if you made, and they did this one time. They did it one time. They made Wichita State a number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed, and they were undefeated. And guess who was the 8? Kentucky.
I knew it.
Kentucky was the 8. And everybody said, well, why would you put them up against Kentucky? Why? They're a 1 seed. Kentucky's an 8. Kentucky, that's fine. That's fair. Who won?
Kentucky probably blew their boot, smoked their
Kentucky
boot.
won.
Yeah, I'm sure
Kentucky won. And that's basketball where threes and shots and anything can happen. In football, it's physical. It is man versus man. My man's stronger than yours 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming into these playoffs and all that, when the talent on the outside is when you got similar talent from both teams, it's always going to come down to the line play. And I'll tell you what,
Always.
that is that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. I seen the Ryan Day comments about different guys maybe in the starting lineup, and they're going to look at some changes on the offensive line, and I'm just thinking to myself, man. It's not ideal for it. When you say you got to play Georgia, Texas, and Oregon,
hey, let's not sleep on the Vols either, T.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're good in the trenches.
No, they got one of the best edge rushers, don't they?
They are good in the trenches. No, that's going to be at Donnybrook on Saturday night, which I believe we had, that they would be playing a night game.
Yes.
So you knew that was going to be the case. Lots of stuff we had, some of the stuff we didn't. Man, I tweeted that Texas's loss to Georgia is one of the best losses in Texas football history.
It ain't.
I got all sorts of people coming at me. Texas isn't going to be the 5. They're not going to be the 5. They haven't beaten anybody. Well, we'll see. Guess who's a 5? Texas.
Well, I mean, it definitely is an easier
Now they got to beat Clemson, Arizona State. Think of the two paths. Clemson, Arizona State to get to Ohio State, Tennessee, Oregon to get to Texas. You tell me which one you'd rather have. This is the issue. And this is the thing that they screwed up with this thing by kowtowing to fear of litigation. And they screwed it up. Now, we got to deal with it. And for the Buckeyes, it's going to be a tall order. If they win the national championship game this year, it will be earned. And they will have left no doubt at all, because the path is absolutely treacherous. Much more to get to on this. We're off and running on a Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
At $179 million in total cash prizes.
Mom, what are you doing?
Mix in 3-parts bills, bonus boxes, and multipliers.
Is this some kind of recipe?
Gradually stir in a ton of excitement.
Oh, you're trying to make Ohio Lottery holiday scratch-offs, aren't you? Stop overcomplicating things. Just go buy all your favorites like Holiday Cash, Holiday Lucky Times 10, and Merry Money.
Oh, that is easier.
Uh-huh.
Now help sift non-winning tickets into My Lotto Rewards for a second chance to win.
Play Holiday Scratch-Offs. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Combat falling interest rates now. Lock in a 7-month certificate from Kemba Financial Credit Union and earn up to 4.5% annual percentage yield. Visit Kemba.org for details. Hurry! This exceptional rate offer expires December 31st, 2024. APY equals annual percentage yield. Restrictions apply. $500 minimum deposit required to open and earn stated APY and $250,000 maximum deposit. Advantage status required. Federally insured by NCUA.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Here we come a plumbing, we are known as Apex Pros. If you're plumbing,
honey, there's carolers at the door. I'm not sure with it.
Your furnace goes out, there's no one near. Apex Pros comes running.
Something about furnaces and plumbing, I think.
What? If your furnace dies or your pipes aren't clear, electric trouble in your home, Apex Pros are near.
No, it's not very good, is it? Come in.
Heating and plumbing, electrical too. Apex Pros knows what to do.
No, not really Christmassy to sing about plumbing and furnaces, is it? Oh, yeah, they got that guarantee. What's that called?
5-star guarantee.
Are they listening out there? Can they hear what we're saying? Yeah, I probably should just lock the door.
Apex Pros, Apex Pros, Apex Pros, Apex Pros, Apex Pros, you just Apex.com.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
If a friend asks how you're doing and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
From sugar cookie crumbs in the kitchen to pine needles under the tree, count on Steel for Christmas cleanup made easy with the SEA20 battery-powered handheld vacuum. Now just $99.99. Power up the holiday and give a gift from the top of their wish list. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Was $159.99 MSRP. Includes battery and charger. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures start off in the 40s, and we'll deal with some widespread rain tapering down throughout the morning. Most of the afternoon remains dry, and temperatures still get up into the 50s. Tonight, we fall down to 43 degrees under mainly cloudy skies. We'll have to watch for some patchy fog into Tuesday morning, and then we reintroduce the chance for scattered showers, especially Tuesday afternoon, with highs near 50 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Calora.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
It's your Uncle Bo here, kids. My fellas out there, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. If you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. You and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED. Change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationships. That's where my friends at Tri-State Men's Health come into play. They have treatments that work where the pills and herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Tri-State's Men's Health. Schedule a consult. Your initial visit's $99. It includes that medical consult, licensed medical provider, T and PSA test if you're medically advised to test dose. Now, if the test dose doesn't work, the office visit is free. Guys, it's a no-lose win-win for you. Give them a call today, 800-900-9654. Visit TriStateMen'sHealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health has 2 locations here in town. Quick exit off 270 in Hilliard, near Medical Mile in Westerville. Tell them both sent you, and they will greet you with an extra big smile. I promise you that. All right, here's this is the matchup that we thought that we would get. I was hopeful. Listen, here's the other thing that's awkward. So let's just acknowledge it right now. It is hard to stand up for. It is hard to lobby when you lose at home to a bad Michigan team. You made your bed. So the reality is, if you beat Michigan, worst case scenario, you're the 5. You would have supplanted Texas as the 5. You would have gotten to play Clemson, and then you would have gotten to play Arizona State, and then you would have gotten to play the winner of Oregon and Texas, probably, is the way that would have gone. Or Oregon and whoever else. But you could have avoided it. But you lost to a bad Michigan team. So sitting up here lobbying or feeling sorry for us, it's pretty hollow.
Yeah.
Because you lost to a bad team.
Yeah. And that's, I tell you what, as I was in Indy this past weekend, I see, the funny thing is you seen a lot of Oregon fans, you seen some Penn State fans, but you seen Buckeye fans there.
They bought tickets.
That was the part that made me laugh, is that I see Buckeye fans, and they knew me, and they come up and they talk about the game and stuff like that. And, you know, you sat there and I thought to myself, like this is a shame. Like, it's a shame that we not here. And then we was talking about just the attendance. It was like, I don't even know how many people gonna actually show up to this Big Ten championship game. And it's all because everybody wanted to see Ohio State and Oregon. And, yeah, Ohio State dropped the ball on that one. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, they got another chance to get in there. And this is a good matchup. So hopefully
It's a full day.
It is a full day.
This matchup. Did you guys
they will be tested. They will be tested a lot, and it's in places, the trenches or something, the toughness. We go back to the word tough and all of those things. Well, it's another one of those type of games because they run the ball really well.
It's a lunch pail. Pack one. I heard Shark this morning with Juice. He had bought tickets. I want to say for like $160 a pop
to the Big Ten,
$168 a pop to the Big Ten championship game like months ago. And then once Ohio State lost, he tried to spin them on the secondary market. Ended up taking $35 a piece for him. There was no demand.
Wow,
there was no demand. No, there was no demand. And that this is an offshoot, but it also speaks to everybody else tried to shoehorn these conference champions games in, and I don't know if there was ever any call for it. Like, I don't know before there started to be a Big Ten championship game if there was a call for it, but it was an avenue to make money, and they saw how the SEC was making money on it, and so everybody tried to do it. But how many like classic Big Ten championship games have we been treated to? Now, the one Saturday ended up being pretty good. I never was in any worry of Oregon losing. I don't know if you guys were. At no point did I think Oregon would lose the game.
No.
Ever.
No,
I felt like if they needed another score, they'd go get one.
Yeah, Oregon is too much on the offensive side. And defensively, they figured some things out. I knew they had enough playmakers, and, those guys stepped up and made plays. But it was all about could Penn State offense put up the points? Could they match the points?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, they did a lot better than I thought they would.
It got to 38-21, I think. Is that what it was at one point?
No, I think they lost by a touchdown, right?
No. I'm saying once it got to that big, I want to say it got to 38-21 or something like that. It was late on a Saturday night, and so I can't remember exactly what the score was, but it was multiple touchdowns.
It was that, and then I was flipping because Clemson or SMU was making a comeback on Clemson, so I flipped to that one too.
Well, SMU got down 21-0 with the most incompetent first quarter you could ever play, and they damn near beat Clemson, which would have helped a lot of things had that happened. Did I have that right, Reese? Was it 38-21?
Yeah, so Oregon goes up 38-24.
24.
In the third quarter, and that actually when Oregon they scored their touchdown first pretty early. I'm like, I think we can be done with this game. I came back after I'm like, wow, that's closer than I thought. But I was pretty enthralled with SMU Clemson.
Yeah, that was a really, and Clemson was gifted. I mean, SMU was so bad in the first quarter with penalties and turnovers that it was 21-0 quick. So in terms of this draw for Ohio State, we've talked about how difficult it is. Here is Coach Day. They expected this, and I suppose that's what happens when you start to just read everything that's being written. Here's Coach Day on the draw of the Vols.
I think when you looked at it last week, you could kind of sort of project out where you might be. This was one of the projections that we saw. So, we've been looking at these guys and, a couple other opponents, but, we're fired up. We're obviously excited about playing the first ever playoff game in Ohio Stadium. Ohio Stadium's been around a long time, over 100 years. There's been a lot of great games, but never a playoff game like this. And so, night game, 8 o'clock, it's going to be electric. Our guys are going to be excited about this. And so, as we head into our preparation, it's going to be on us fast, 2 weeks. And so, getting this first win will be critical in building momentum as you head into the teeth of the playoffs. And when you look at tournament play, you look at playoff plays, we all know that first game is very, very important. So it's not bowl prep. It's very different. It's a quick turnaround, and all of our focus is on these guys.
Can you imagine being those guys right now? They had National Signing Day last Wednesday. Today the portal opens. Devin Brown jumped in. We haven't talked about that yet, but there will probably be others who will jump in as the day goes along. And you're going to play a home game against a big-time opponent with a ton of NFL talent. And this isn't the NCAA basketball tournament when you're a 2 seed and you're playing a 15. Not at all. These two teams are going to stare across from each other and go, you guys look a lot like us.
Yeah.
This will be a talent equates game. Now, Ohio State's more talented and has better players, and that's why they're favored by 7.5. But this is a monster of an opener.
Yeah, it's you definitely got to be ready to go on this one. I tell you what, the interesting thing is, I was talking to Eric about this, is that I didn't realize that if you enter the transfer portal, but you could still play in this game.
Well, we talked about that last week. I asked you about that last week, and I don't know if that is that coach's discretion?
I have no idea. But what Eric told me that It's the 28th, you say it is?
28th is when the window closes. So that's when you have to have your name in. Now, I think it is the coach's discretion whether or not you can stay around. So say Devin, once the window closes, if he's decided a school or announced his school and you make it to that Rose Bowl quarterfinal on the 1st, I think it would have to be up to everybody if he were to prepare and travel with Ohio State to Pasadena. But there's no hard rule on what you can and cannot do with the transfer portal because good luck enforcing it.
Yeah, there's no enforcing of anything. So I guess it's up to coaches, like what they want to do.
Would you let's say Devin Brown entered and something happened to Will, would you let him go in?
No, I would play Julian.
This would be you can stay, you can prep, you can be with us, but Julian Sainz getting all of the second team reps.
Well, then there's no point for Devin.
Well,
I guess
what about brotherhood?
I guess you got to.
No.
What about brotherhood?
That's
you talk about brotherhood all the time. The sacred brotherhood. What are you talking about? He can win with his brothers. Don't you know that?
I mean, yeah.
All right. What did they get right? What did they get wrong? Bill Connelly, ESPN, coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus location and save up to $30 on auto repair with our AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through December 31st. See store for details.
Hey guys, it's Anthony Rothman. If you're feeling those holiday blahs already or just not bringing your usual cheer to the party, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it does affect our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help put some jingle in your bells. But we all have different T levels, so don't just go for that standard dosage TRT plan. Go to the experts at Low T Center. Their TRT plan is tailored for you and with over a decade of experience. Go to lowtcenter.com and book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Bob and Teresa Capace here. The holidays are the perfect time for your yes moment. Find the ring that captures your love at family-owned Worthington Jewelers. With over 1,500 styles and friendly expert guidance, you'll find the one.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations: Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Monday edition of the program. Bo and Tyvis with you, now joined by someone who's going to make us all smarter. Bill Connelly, ESPN, joins us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, Bill, we've had not quite 24 hours to kind of let this all soak in. Did they get it right?
I think so. Obviously, it's always kind of tricky. They always say they're picking the best teams, but they shouldn't. They should pick the most deserving, and I think that's what they've done for most of the CFP era. That's absolutely what they did yesterday. It was going to set a weird precedent if they let a conference title game loser fall 3-4 spots and out of the playoff, and they clearly decided that was not a precedent they wanted to set, and it's probably a good thing.
You know, Bill, when we look at this, obviously one of the things that jumps out to a lot of people is that, Clemson's in the ACC and they beat, SMU. Do you think that is right that they have them at the 12th seed, or do you think that they should be where Arizona State or even a Boise State is?
Yeah, no, I think that I was totally fine with that. I mean, they were not They should not have been anywhere close to the top 12 before playing SMU. They played 3 teams that I have in my SP Plus top 30. They'd lost all of them, and only one of them was close. So I definitely think they were the kind of I don't know the best way to put it, but the least impressive team maybe of the field. Arizona State was a tricky one to evaluate because they were merely solid over the first half of the season, but they've been absolutely smoking hot. I think they proved themselves down the stretch a little more than Clemson did. So I'm totally cool with that, I think.
Bill, the reason I among many reasons I really wanted to have you on today is because what you try to do, and what you do is you try to take the subjective out of it. And this is such an entirely subjective process. How do we evaluate teams who very clearly are not playing in similar conferences?
Well, I think the one thing I always try to remember is, if you wanted to invite SMU, for instance, to the SEC or the Big Ten, they'd accept. So I never want to go too far in saying, well, they just didn't play the same level of competition, because that's punishing them for something they don't control. SMU in particular, I think they're 12th in my SP Plus rankings, better than at least, I think, they're either 7th or 8th overall in terms of the 12 team field. I think they're 8th in terms of just the overall rankings, and that's good. They would have held their own in a bigger conference, and maybe they don't end up with a playoff worthy record, but so be it. Invite them to the big show if you want to knock them out of the playoff, I guess. So I was fine with it. I like that we're still counting wins as wins above all else, and for the 3-loss SEC teams that missed the field, you made a lot of money to play a really hard schedule and miss the field. I think I'm at peace with that too.
Yeah, I'm at peace with that too. I wasn't really even referring to SMU. I was thinking more along the lines of Boise State. There were only 3. They are one of 3 teams in their league with a winning record. That's it. Fresno State was 6-6. Other than that, everybody's well under. That them being rewarded the way that they were, and I'm from Montana, so it's neighboring state. I root for them. I love the blue turf, all of it. Ashton Genty's going to be in my Heisman ballot. But that's a heck of a benefit for a team who lost by 3 at Oregon. That's a big-time quality loss, but the rest of that schedule doesn't stack up at all, Bill.
Yeah, no, they were, I think, 11th out of 12 in terms of the SP Plus rankings again. And so, I definitely get that. They timed their heavy non-conference game very, very well and played very well in it. And obviously that carried a lot of weight, but it was something, down the stretch, it was just, more than anything else, they benefited from everybody around them just continuing to fall. And, the fact that they got a healthy ranking in part because of that really good Oregon performance where, again, Oregon needed 2 return touchdowns to even win that game. Boise State was really, really, really close to being unbeaten. They certainly made the most out of that. And then when everybody else fell by the wayside, they just kept creeping up the rankings a little bit. So I know how it happened. It's not something that's going to happen very frequently. But this ended up being a super weird year where you had, of the 5 conference champions that made it, 2 of them really did not look the part or looked to be out of the race until late in the year, and they ended up getting the 3rd spot. I guess it comes down to, in the end, what you think about the 4 conference champions getting a bye. That ended up being the thing that obviously benefited them the most.
Yeah.
Bill, when you look at this Ohio State versus Tennessee matchup, what is something that the Buckeyes have to do in order to beat Tennessee?
Yeah, this is a dynamite matchup. With 2 of probably the 3 best defenses in the country, and that kind of gives away the answer. Points are going to be at a premium here. Turnovers, big plays, those types of things are going to define a lot of this game because Tennessee defends the run better than anybody else in the country, pretty much. And Ohio State's probably got the most well-rounded defense in the country overall. So, this certainly looks like a rock fight. I like Ohio State's offensive personnel a whole lot more than Tennessee's right now. Tennessee doesn't make a lot of big plays. They can run the ball, but they really don't have one of the better offenses in the playoff. That should make the difference in the end, although we still have the taste in our mouths of the Michigan game, and so Ohio State's offense has a little more to prove than maybe we thought they would heading into the Michigan game.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the previous segment, Bill. I'm not going to sit here and lobby for Ohio State. They lost to a bad team at home and they were 3 touchdown favorites. Like, that can't happen. But at the same time, Buckeye fans are looking up, and they're going, wait a second, we just beat Penn State. We just beat them. And they're looking at that Penn State path, and they're going SMU, Boise to Georgia versus Tennessee, Oregon, Texas to Georgia, if it all goes to chalk. It's easily the hardest path, is it not, of the teams that we consider to have the most talent?
Yeah, no, last night I wanted to see, I know a lot of people were complaining about the 4 conference champions getting the byes and the way that affects the seeds. I love it just because it really does emphasize the conference title races, and it made Saturday super interesting, but it absolutely punished the 2 teams that landed in the 8-9 spot more than anybody, and that ended up being Ohio State and Tennessee. Obviously, both of them, if you were just to rank the 12 teams or seed the 12 teams normally, they would have both avoided that 8-9 spot. Tennessee would have gotten a home game. So it ended up definitely hurting the Buckeyes and Volunteers more than anybody else. It's a heck of a path, but I mean, Ohio State still barely, but they're number 1 in SP+. They're going to have a chance in every single game they play. They might have to beat 4 of like the top 5 or 6 teams in the country to win the title. They're capable, but it is going to be a load.
Bill, what is your top 5 in the SP+ right now? I'm just curious.
It's the most interesting thing about SP+ right now is the top 8 teams are only separated by 3 points. Okay. So say somebody's number 1 doesn't quite, they'd be like 4th last year. But yeah, you've got Ohio State number 1. You've got 2 teams actually that didn't even make the field. You got Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Ole Miss 3, Texas 4, Alabama 5. So Ole Miss and Alabama really did blow a monster opportunity to make a playoff run, but so be it. And so Ohio State, Oregon are the top 2 teams to start out.
Bill, yeah, so just so everybody understands what the point I'm getting at here, according to Bill's SP+, Ohio State would have to beat, according to those rankings, the 8 team, the 2 team, the 4 team, and then the 7 to win it.
Yeah,
go ahead, B. Yeah.
No, it's going to be a heck of a run. I am very curious, and it's really. So every year I rank like every college football playoff team ever, and that list will come out tomorrow. It was a funny time to continue that list because a third of it or a quarter of it's from 2024 since we expanded the field. But it's really, I started to really totally internalize as I was writing this list. Like with this expanded playoff, these teams have only begun to define themselves. Somebody's going to make a run of beating 2 or 3 incredible, like really, really good teams. Really might be Ohio State, and they could end up like 10th or 40th on this list, depending on how these next few weeks go. And I'm really, really curious to see how it plays out.
Bill, this whole entire season, everybody's felt like there has not been one dominant team, whereas it looks like everything is wide open. But obviously, Oregon is the number 1 seed. Do you feel like they are truly the team to beat, or do you feel like it's as wide open as people thinking anybody could win the national championship?
I think they start off with the best odds. I do think they've proven a lot down the stretch here. They're number 2 in SP+ partially because they started the year by looking kind of garbage against Idaho, and then they barely beat Boise State, and probably since then they've been the best team. But no, I mean even then you game this out, and they only have about a 1 in 5 chance of winning it. That is absolutely the most interesting thing about this playoff is we picked a year to expand the playoff where there wasn't a standout team, and there really are kind of 6 or 8 teams that are really close to each other, and 4 or 6 of those are in the playoffs. So yeah, Oregon's got the best shot, but I'm picking the field no matter what team you name. I'm picking the field against them because it is going to be extremely wide open.
Bill, get you out of here on this one. How do you think? Which 2 teams do you think will be playing for the national title, and who do you think will end up winning this thing?
Yeah, we ended up doing just right after the bracket reveal, all the ESPN college football writers just did an instant reaction, like pick all the games immediately kind of thing. And I like those kind of stream of consciousness things. I ended up with Oregon over Notre Dame, which is not really what I would have expected when I started that exercise. But I do think Notre Dame is another team that's been probably one of the 2 or 3 best in the country since having the most inexplicable loss of the season in week 2. And so they are going to have a really good chance. I do think Ohio State's one of the 2 or 3 best teams as well. But like you were saying, that this draw is incredible, and it's going to be pretty hard, I think, for them to win 4 straight.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. Folks, you want to get smarter, read Bill's stuff at ESPN. The SP Plus ratings are there. You'll see all of the stuff we're talking about. He also did a really cool thing where, like, everybody's path for every team that's in it. So really good content. Bill, thank you so much for your time on a Reaction Monday. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, that's our buddy Bill Connelly, ESPN, joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I got a tweet. Somebody asked the question, could Ohio State get a kicker in the portal and could he play? I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. The portal is open. We've lost a quarterback. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. There's a lot of HVAC companies out there. I trust Care with my business, and I know you'll be satisfied customers. I am the most miserable person on earth, so if I'm satisfied, you know they must be doing something right. But don't take my word for it. Care has been named the 2024 winner of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award for Ethics. That's a polite way of saying they provide you with excellent product and service, and most importantly, they never screw you over. Here's another example. Lennox. They sell tons of product all over the country. They've awarded Care their Lennox 2024 Partner of the Year award. Just bragging at this point. I suggested a new tagline for Care Heating and Cooling. Here it is. Obnoxiously efficient. They didn't like it, but I stand by it. Don't wait for your furnace to crap out this winter. Get on their Care plan and get your unit checked before the pipes freeze. And it costs you thousands of dollars and your wife swears at you. That certainly never happened to me. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
If you've been too busy to sign up for your health insurance plan, it's understandable. It's also why there's Health Markets. At healthmarkets.com, you can see the plans available to you and even speak to a licensed insurance agent. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. They'll answer your questions, and when you're ready, even help you apply. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. Getting your new health insurance plan could be easier than you think. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
Come try Skyline Chili's new mac and cheese three-way, made with creamy cavatappi pasta in a 3-cheese blend, topped with Skyline chili and their shredded Wisconsin cheddar. The new mac and cheese three-way at participating Skyline locations for a limited time.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
We're back on the Nada Yada Island Confessions Show. Benny is about to tell us how he found two loves. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks to Metro, I found iPhone 12 and Apple Watch SE.
At Metro, get the perfect match of both iPhone 12 with 5G and Apple Watch SE for only $99.99. You heard that right. Both for just $99.99. Holidays with Nada Yada Yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number and ID, sign up for Metro Flex Plus, and add a watch line. Not available if you're with T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days. Limit 2 per account.
What's better than giving a gift everyone wants? Getting free gas and groceries by earning perks on gift cards purchased at Giant Eagle Market District and GetGo. Choose from hundreds of gift cards to make everyone merry at Giant Eagle Market District and GetGo.
Streaming December 19th.
Something really terrible has been happening to all the people I've had sex with. They're kind of dying. Hot dogs!
It's a love story with a body count, starring Stephanie Hsu and Zasha Mammoth.
Dating is already impossible, and now people are dying. It's like, can you? I cannot.
Blade, a new comedy series, streaming December 19th, only on Peacock.
I think I have to warn them. I was hoping you'd say that. Roll on some deodorant and we'll head out.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Hey folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American Farm Fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, Farm Fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
You guys know where the burn the boats comes from?
Wasn't it it's a military thing, right, from back in the day?
Burn the ships?
It's a conquering thing. It's Cortez. Gets all of his guys.
That.
He did it. He burnt the boats. And he said, we ain't going home, boys.
He kept a spare one, I'll tell you that.
Devin did, yeah. What we didn't know at the rest of that story is that they ended up being able to take all the wood that they found, and they were able to make a new ship. Listen, I have nothing but respect for Devin Brown and everything that he has done since he's been here. By all accounts, consummate teammate, very supportive, good dude, all of that stuff. But also, this is not surprising at all that this is how this would shake out. So he entered the transfer portal. Part of his statement on Instagram, I'll remain with the team and honor my commitment for the remainder of the season as we pursue our goal of winning it all. He has 2 years of college eligibility left. He's the 4th Buckeye player to enter the portal. Kojo entered last week. Jaden Ballard and Gabe Powers were the first 2 that were in. This is it's a gray area in terms of what can be done here and what not in terms of sticking around or not. Devin's going to stick around and going to be a part of the team. If you're Ryan Day, do you have him still be the backup quarterback? Or do you move to Julian Sayin now on that side of things? Ballard and Powers were both in special teams. We saw them on special teams. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard from those two on those 2 situations if they're sticking around or not. But this is how kind of wild it is right now in the sport, where today the portal opens. There's going to be names all day long. I'm guessing there'll be more Buckeye names jumping in as the day goes along. Ryan even alluded to that in his availability yesterday, that they expect more. And I know they're already hosting guys. They're hosting offensive linemen. So all of that's happening now too. What do you do if you're Ryan Day with guys who opt to transfer?
So similarly to the NFL, because that's a lot of the times what you think about this model is that it's going more towards the NFL. If you knew you were about to trade a guy, you pull him off the field, right? Because you obviously don't want him to get hurt. So similarly to this situation, I don't think you want to risk them getting hurt if they're going to transfer out, because then if they get hurt, would the team still pick them up? Like, no.
It's a really good point out of you. That scholarship would.
Then you'd be stuck down a scholarship, and you got kids that's coming in and all of those. You just had 25 and stuff like that. So I think that this is one of those things that you probably don't play them, but you allow them to practice, obviously, so they can stay in good football shape and things like that. But I don't think you. Like, for especially Devin Brown, I don't think you put him back out there on the field, unless you want him to try to get a better school he can probably transfer to. If he goes out there, maybe something happens to Will Howard and he wants some more tape. But at this point, the book's out. Everybody kind of knows who he is and what they're getting from him. So I think that you have to look to the future. And if you could take this time, which is a critical moment, and get your young guy some critical reps because he's going to be the guy moving forward, you absolutely take that chance on that one right there. So I don't think that they do play in the games. I do think they practice though.
Yeah. This has seemed kind of inevitable because of the buzz that you started to get last spring with Julian Sayin, that everyone kind of said, like, that's the guy. This is an absurdly crowded quarterback room. Mm-hmm. Even with Devin's transfer, it's still really crowded. Lincoln Keenholz is still here. Mm-hmm. Aaron Noland is still here. Will Howard is obviously the starter. And Devin is still here through this playoff run. My guess is at least one more will probably jump in as well. Whether that's Air or Lincoln, I don't know, but one of them is going to jump in because you have Tavian St. Clair coming in behind.
Yeah, I think that if the one, maybe even two, it could be Air and it could be Lincoln. It could be both of them. Which then would make the Buckeyes probably have to go find like a veteran in the transfer portal, like a Tristan Gebbia, to come in just in case something happens, in emergency situations, you should always have about 3 on your roster, and you need a scout team quarterback as well. So
you might need 2.
Yeah, so that could be the route that they go, or you can have Air or Lincoln maybe choose to stay, and continue to compete for it. it's not a sure gone conclusion. You know, anything can happen over the course of an OTAs I keep calling it OTA, spring ball. Things can change. So
that's because it's like the NFL, buddy.
Yeah, I know. We should just call it what it is.
Just call it what it is.
Except it's not. It's mandatory in college.
The thing I don't know, and I got asked this on social, and I don't know the answer to it, is if Ohio State were to go get a kicker and punter out of the portal,
could they play? Could
they be playing at the end of the playoff?
I really don't know.
And it's Stephen Ross with this with it. It's a funny picture. He says it's not the owner of the Dolphins, I'm guessing. He says it happens in NFL every other week. It's a very good question. I don't know. Like, if you went and got a kicker, could they theoretically play in the national championship game?
Well, see, this is okay. So
that's second semester.
This is interesting because
I don't know.
I found out that if you get an early enrollee, they could come in and be a part of bowl practice. Like back in bowl years, like they could practice with the team during the bowl season, even though they just got out of high school. So if that's the case, then why couldn't a kicker come in and be a kicker right out of the transfer portal?
It feels like with every question you have about college athletics, the answer is if there's not a hard rule, and even if there is an explicit rule, it's a yes.
I think you're right. I think the rule of thumb is, prove it. I think that's the attitude of these teams. That's what it should be.
It should.
What's the school?
Prove it.
What's the school that got their kicker taken by somebody? Alabama came?
So Miami's Chuck Martin was mad.
Yeah.
Alabama came in and got their kicker, and Kalen DeBoer's like, well, everybody's doing it. And everybody laughed at Chuck Martin for it. We're still laughing at Chuck Martin because, Miami lost to OU in the MAC championship game on Saturday, but...
No, I don't know. I could see there being some hard and fast rule of a guy not being able to play for two teams in one season, and they'll tie to the academic side of it. But the national championship game is in the second semester.
Yeah.
So theoretically, I don't know what that would look like as well. But I tell you, you watch the conference championship games this weekend, and you watch what happened to Carson Beck, and you say, you better have somebody competent behind. Because if they don't, they could be just like Florida State, man. They could have lost their quarterback and been outside looking in.
Yeah.
But Stockton played well.
He did. He played well enough.
And that's the thing that from last year that so many people forget in regard to Florida State. It wasn't just that they lost Jordan Travis. It was also that the guys, they lost the backup too.
I said they lost the backup. They were down to their third string.
They were on their third kid, and he was incompetent.
Yeah.
So that's the job of the committee, is to say, well, this team isn't the same anymore. And that always comes back to best, most deserving, and all of those things. So that's the thing that's so tricky about this. But like this, folks, if you have to take one thing from this, the first hour here and the path that the Buckeyes have drawn, understand that this will be a depth of talent.
Yeah.
This will be about surviving and advancing.
Yes.
That's the team that is going to win this thing. Ohio State just happens to have the hardest path of anybody in the whole damn bracket.
And like I said, when you talk about the concerns on the offensive line, because there was already, the injuries already made it bad. And now you got to try to get that offensive line, and you've seen how they couldn't really open the gaps, especially down the middle with those guards and centers. Well, some of the teams that you're about to play, they got dudes down there. So you got to figure that out. And, hopefully if you're going to make a change, you got to hurry up and get it done, because you got to get that chemistry down. It can't be something that on game week we decide to go, oh, yeah, let's go ahead and plug him in right there. Like, it's a little too late for that.
No. You're 2 weeks from Saturday, from playing Tennessee here on a Saturday night. That's the reality of where it is. One other thing I wanted to give some flowers to here before we get out of the first hour of the program. Big props to our friends at Watterson, winning a state championship over the weekend as predicted by us. Just too many former Buckeyes on there. There's no way they were going to lose. We both got that one right. Good job out of Watterson. Olentangy Liberty put it on Moeller.
Yes, they did.
They put it on them. So that was awesome to see. They controlled the entire game and really whipped Moeller. That was awesome. And that Liberty group, I'm pretty sure they won state lacrosse last year. That's a squad. That's a graduating class of studs. And really big props to both Watterson and Olentangy Liberty on Central Ohio teams winning state championships. Great job, fellas, on that side of things. All right, how do we fix this thing? Because there's going to be fixes. And eventually it'll get to 16. But what needs to be fixed for next year? We'll go into some of the slights, some of the things that got right coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
What's your favorite way to spend time? With family, friends, grabbing some alone time because you need a little space from your family and friends? One thing's for sure, it's not an unexpected stay in a hospital. Unfortunately, last year, flu and COVID hospitalized 1.3 million adults, and nearly 1 million of them were 65 or older. So get your updated vaccines, and don't let flu or COVID interrupt your life. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, this is Tracy from Custom Air. Tired of constant heating and cooling repairs, plus really high energy bills? Don't wait. Upgrade to an energy-efficient HVAC system today. Get an instant estimate or schedule a free consultation at customairco.com. Custom solutions, custom comfort, Custom Air.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from Classic 3-Cheese, Pepperoni, or Extreme Meat Pizza. Save big with a $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
Hey, Jackets fans, we know what's on your holiday wish list. Ask your Secret Santa for a Blue Jackets holiday gift pack. You'll score 2 tickets plus a Blue Jackets homage shirt, all for just $99. Learn more at bluejackets.com/holiday.
Bring the thrill of the stadium to your wallet with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the only checking account that rewards you for being a Crew fan. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new, stylishly affordable Corolla. Now through January 6th, you can get low-rate financing or a great lease on a new Corolla or Corolla Hybrid. Lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE now for $219 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When I wake up, the best mornings in the morning light start with Wrangler. Pull on my jeans and I feel all right. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot. I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. Good mornings make for better days. I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
If it's hot, it's at GNC, and we bring you the best new stuff first. GNC has this winter's newest in weight loss, muscle building, and wellness, and the best energy drink flavors anywhere. If it's at the top of your feed, it's already at GNC. Ask a GNC coach about the newest drops from Rise, Mutant, Alani Nu, Drip Drop, and more at your local GNC store, or shop our full collection of flavors and online exclusives at GNC.com. If it's hot, it's at GNC. Live well.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Number 6 Ohio State is a 7.5-point favorite hosting number 7 Tennessee next Saturday night in the first round of the college football playoff. It's just the second meeting all time between the two schools on the field. Volunteers beat the Buckeyes in the 96 Citrus Bowl. Winner next Saturday gets number 1 Oregon in the Rose Bowl quarterfinal on January 1st. In other news, the transfer portal opens today. The winter window runs through December 28th. On Sunday, Ohio State's Devin Brown announced plans to transfer, but will stay with the Buckeyes for playoff prep. In college hoops, the Buckeyes beat Rutgers 80-66 this past Saturday at the Shot. Ohio State heads to Atlanta to play number 2 Auburn Saturday at 1 o'clock. Hear more from the basketball Buckeyes today at noon on The Jake Diebler Show. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.9% APR with a Visa Platinum credit card. Apply online at bmifcu.org/Visa.
The only thing better than watching football is talking about it. So we invented Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Did you watch it, Reese?
Not yet.
All right. I know we'll break it down tomorrow. Second to last episode of Yellowstone aired last night. No spoilers. I won't give them to you, but tomorrow we will. We will have the review tomorrow. There's your teaser, Reese, for tonight's viewing, for this afternoon's viewing. I don't know that any showrunner in the history of showrunners flexed themselves more than Taylor Sheridan flexed himself last night in the episode.
Well, all right then.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're in the second half of the 5th season, Tyvis.
There's only 2 episodes left, and there's a lot going on, and they spend a lot of time with him and the character he plays on the show. A lot of time.
Considering how last week went, I wouldn't think that's the best option, but it's his show.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. He just said, "It's my show. I'm doing what I want, and I'm gonna look really cool." And he made himself look about as cool as you can make yourself look. All right, we had Bill Connelly on. If you missed that, he puts an SB Plus ranking together. So this eliminates the subjective nature of college football. It looks at where a team ranks juxtaposed to who they play on the offense and defensive abilities of those teams. And so it takes the subjective nature out of it. So the top 12 teams in the country, according to SB Plus and their data, and honestly it starts to be a pretty big drop-off when you get to 13, is as follows. Ohio State is 1, Oregon is 2, Ole Miss is 3, Texas is 4, Bama is 5, Penn State 6, Georgia 7, Tennessee 8, Notre Dame 9, Miami 10, Indiana 11, SMU 12. So those are his 1 through 12. So Clemson is 15 on this list. Boise State is 21 on this list. So that takes out all the subjectivity. It also takes out head-to-head, obviously, because Ohio State is ahead of Oregon.
Was Arizona State on that one?
Arizona State was, 39th. 39th in SP Plus. Their rating is a 7.7. So the last team in is SMU at a 12. Their rating is 20.5. So for perspective, Ohio State's rating at the highest is 28.4. Oregon is 28.2. So this takes this out. This was always going to be the problem with the college football playoff 12 team and the conference buy-in thing, is these conferences are all not created equal.
Correct.
It's not the same.
Yes, I agree.
The Mountain West is not the Big Ten.
Correct.
The Big 12 is not the SEC. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. And so the idea that we're going to treat them all the same is quite honestly farcical as far as I'm concerned. Now, the one thing that I do want to address here quickly before we go into some fixes. Alabama Athletic Director Greg Byrne had a statement Sunday when finding out the Tide were matched up with Michigan in this used to be the Outback Bowl. It's the ReliaQuest Bowl in Tampa now. Byrne's comments are ones that I want to get into just a little bit here. He said, disappointed with the outcome, felt we were one of the 12 best teams in the country. We had an extremely challenging schedule and recognized there were 2 games in particular we did not perform as well as we should have. We have said that we would need to see how strength of schedule will be evaluated by the CFP. With this outcome, we need to assess how many Power 4 non-conference games make sense in the future to put us in the best position to participate in the CFP. This is not good for college football. Now, what I saw a bunch of Ohio State folks say was, well, the reason you got in is because you lost to Oklahoma and you lost to Vanderbilt. That's why you didn't get in.
They got their asses kicked by Oklahoma.
Oklahoma smoked them 3 weeks ago. That's why you didn't get in.
That was when I seen them lose, I couldn't believe it. Like that is unbelievable that Oklahoma was able to pull that off. They had some terrible losses. Like if you lost to Georgia or some of these games like that, like all right, and it was close, all right, but you lost to like some teams that you had no business losing to. And
here's their counter though to it. This is what he means by it. I think it's getting lost in the weeds a little bit. What he means is, why am I going to add another stressful game when we already have what they consider 8 in the SEC? And that Oklahoma's record, while pedestrian, in the SEC. And this is just from their perspective. Please understand. If Oklahoma was in the Big 12, their record would not have been that. That's what they're arguing.
That's debatable.
That our league's tougher than yours. That's what they're arguing.
Well, that's
it didn't
a fact.
work.
That's a fact.
It is a fact. And I was wrong. I thought 9-3 would be better than 10-2. That happened. 9-3 did not get in. 10-2 did.
That's Clemson.
11-2 did because of Clemson.
That's Clemson's fault. Yeah.
Now Clemson got pounced by 2 SEC teams.
Yeah, they did.
Georgia and South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people saw or paid attention to this, but I had a very good chuckle when they went to Dabo Sweeney, and that was in the same cafeteria where I held the pizza party for the Tigers. They cleared everybody out except for old Dabo, and behind him were all his ACC championships. And I was like, what a flex, man. But also, like, why are you kicking kids out for the pizza party?
Didn't he? Hasn't he won it like 6 out of 8 years or 8 out of 10 years?
There were quite a few titles behind him.
What Bama is saying and what Georgia will be saying is, we have enough stressors in our league. We don't need to go play at Wisconsin and add to it. So we're going to play some group of 4 teams instead of that, and our league will be enough. That's what they're saying.
That's fine, but I'm not really hearing that because this year their non-conference was not that great either.
They played Wisconsin at Wisconsin. At the beginning of the year, you would have said.
Now give me the other 3.
Oh, no, those are garbage.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. But what they're saying is that the rest of you all, in your conference, you have garbage. And in ours, we don't.
We're not going to do that, okay? We're not going to act like, okay, so Vandy finally had a decent year. We're not going to act like this is going to happen every year with Vanderbilt. So
it could with Oklahoma.
Cut that out. Oklahoma they should have never went there. They're not going to be, I don't see them competing for the SEC championship. I don't see them really making a huge mark in the SEC. They're going to be like Nebraska to me. That's my personal opinion about Oklahoma in the SEC.
Well, I think that's their biggest fear.
Well, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's their biggest fear, certainly. Yeah, that's where they're coming from on this. And some of this stuff we got very right. One thing that I definitely got wrong is I thought, and they said it, I guess in that part I did get right. They said our 9-3 is better than your 11-2. It's just that the committee didn't listen. It was there for them to swap Alabama and SMU, and they chose not to. They kept SMU in. And I think in part because of what Ward Manuel said last week when he said, we're not going to punish a team for a conference championship.
Yeah.
Right? For a conference championship loss.
Well, I mean, SMU can make them right. Man, SMU beat Penn State. They got it right.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah. So that's the way that it plays out.
So technically, they hoping for that then.
They are hoping for that. So I thought that they would award the SEC. I thought their loyalty would be to the SEC and the Big Ten. It wasn't necessarily to the SEC and the Big Ten. I thought it was kind of interesting how they decided which teams to award and which ones not. I thought it was interesting that Texas, I knew that I was very confident Texas with the loss to Georgia would drop no further than 5. I think it's wild that people think Penn State is better than Notre Dame.
Who think that?
Everybody. Look at the rankings.
Man.
Penn State's ahead of Notre Dame in every ranking. They're ahead in the AP.
Do you know why?
In the AP has Notre Dame number 3 in the country. They have Penn State 5. The college football playoff rankings have Penn State 4 and Notre Dame 5.
Bo, you don't see what's going on here?
No, I do see. Of course. They're trying to force Notre Dame into a conference.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is about because there's no reason why they shouldn't be at worst 6. The only reason they're doing this is because we talked about it. I said, if Notre Dame stayed at 5, what would be their argument for why would I join a conference if I'm going up against the 12 seed? I'm getting the easiest path. Yeah. Why would I join? So this right here is them trying to say, since you don't want to join, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it a little tougher for you. That's all that is. It's not right, but that's exactly what they're doing because they should have been 6. There's no reason why Penn State Listen, we've been saying all year, Penn State is not the number 3, 4, 5 team.
I don't think they are either.
They're just not. And the fact that you trying to force it upon us to make us believe that, yeah, you gave them this easy path, but the sick part is, as easy as their path is, you can still see them tripping over their feet.
They could lose to Boise State. They could definitely lose to SMU.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know why y'all even did that. Like, y'all really trying so hard to make Penn State better. And I hope, you know what? I hope they prove me wrong. I really do. For the Big Ten Conference, I hope that they go out there, beat SMU, beat Boise State, and makes it to the semis. But
if they just make this simple switch and just switch Notre Dame to 6 and move Penn State to the 8 line or to the 7 line.
Well, then you get in a rematch with something. Well, no, they didn't play.
No, you didn't. They didn't play Indiana.
Yeah, no, they didn't play.
No, they just arbitrarily picked like when they were going to try to avoid matchups and when they're not. I mean, they got Clemson as the 12. Like if you're Texas, you think you'd rather play Clemson or Boise State?
Boise State.
Of course you would. Of course you would. Right? Because Clemson has similar talent.
Yeah. Yeah,
this is the problem. Like this is the problem. Like they're arbitrarily trying to subjectively decide.
They literally took 12 teams and said, "All right, we're gonna give 4 to the conference champion. So we got 8 teams to work with. Let's see how we can finagle this to make it decent games," which is something that we already talked about. And this is what they came up with. And it's, I mean, like, well, don't get me wrong, they're interesting. Like, even Notre Dame.
They're not as interesting as they could have been.
No, you're right about that.
They could have been really interesting had they done it.
I thought Ohio State was going to play Clemson. I'm not going to lie to you. I really
I would have loved that.
I would have loved to have
rather played that than Tennessee. I'll tell you that. We did have conference championship weekend. We will get into that and whose path we like the most to actually win the national championship. We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED, and as a Promenic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our $99 home preventive maintenance checkup. It's getting cold out there. Carpenter and Bryant will do whatever it takes to get you ready for the winter months. Check out Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric at carpentercolumbus.com.
'Tis the season to raise a little Cane with Raising Cane's. Spread joy with craveable chicken finger meals and treat everyone on your nice list to a Cane's gift card or plush puppy, which benefits local pet organizations. Happy holidays from Raising Cane's. One love.
At Meijer, we believe the holidays should be a special time. A time when families and friends can gather for the simple purpose of enjoying each other's company. From the gifts and decorations which make the moment, to the fresh ingredients that make the meal. Count on Meijer to bring the magic of the season to life with just one stop. We're always working harder to make the holidays a good deal better. Meijer. Bring more good to the holidays.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Trusted steel power in the palm of your hand. This holiday season, save $30 on the GTA 26 handheld garden pruner. Now just $149.99. Check off a gift from the top of their wish list and make trimming tree limbs a breeze with a lightweight design and 4-inch cutting bar. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Was $179.99 MSRP. Includes battery and charger. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see a drying trend for this afternoon as high temperatures get back up above average, topping out around 55 degrees. A few spotty showers, perhaps some areas of drizzle may linger into your afternoon. Tonight, we fall down to the lower 40s. Temperatures on Tuesday will top out around 50 with scattered showers moving back in for the afternoon. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Calora.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And we are sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without the medications. The solution for weight loss is Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You look at this thing. And you look at where the bracket is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me do this first before we do the bracket. Let me just say this. Do you know why Texas won't play Arch?
No, because
I know you watch Quinn and he's got a bum ankle. It's a lot. He's in the beginning of the year. You watched them play at Michigan, and they stretched. They made you defend. I said this after watching them play Michigan. They made you defend every blade of grass.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not right.
Do you think that it has anything to do with the fact that he's going pro after this season and they're trying to get him as much film, as many good plays as possible, try to boost his draft stock because it's falling, and maybe he's trying to get it back. And if you see him, you know how they judge you. Let me see what you do in championship games and the more competitive atmospheres. How did you play in those games? So maybe this is a chance to probably get him some good tape against that type of opponent, maybe?
Dude, he threw one of the worst picks.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're ever going to see. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a mid-round pick anyway.
I'm guessing.
No, and my guess is a deal was made with him and said, look, this is it. You're the starter. Because Sark was even when they pulled him in the Georgia game in Austin, he was adamant about, Quinn's our guy.
Yeah.
And, I just watch Arch, and I'm like, he gives him a dimension with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Can he not throw it? What is you feel like he'd be able to throw it. Everybody down there tells you he's got a bigger arm than Quinn. So does he not accurate underneath? Because Quinn isn't terribly accurate underneath. The crazy thing is Quinn Ewers might make more money playing another year of college football than going pro.
Well, you seen I text you and Eric after the game, or after, what was that, Saturday night? And I said,
Saturday night,
You know what? I got it. You
did have it, yeah.
Listen here. Since Quinn is not performing at the magnitude that he thought he would, and right now he's just a mid-round draft pick, and they want Arch in there anyways. Let's just call a spade.
Not bad enough, I guess.
Arch is not going to sit another year. So what should Quinn do? Quinn is in a dilemma right now. What should he do? Quinn can make everything right. Quinn decides to go back to the Buckeyes. He goes back home to the Buckeyes, has an unbelievable season with Ryan Day and this unbelievable wide receiver supporting cast that he'll have. Yeah. His numbers would be through the roof. He'll be in every Heisman talk.
He'd be on the bench, Tyvis. It's Julian Sain's job next year.
I think that's what I was. Yeah, wait
a minute. Stop but we don't know because see, Quinn. We talk about a guy was the best recruit in Ohio State history.
That's perfect. That's true.
And
perfect prospect.
This is a guy who has experience playing in meaningful minutes in meaningful games.
Yeah.
So, that's just something to throw out there.
Here's the caveat.
I like stirring the pot.
You allow Ewers back if he agrees to grow back out the mullet.
Only if he has the mullet.
Only with the mullet will he be back in Columbus.
But he's going to go pro, obviously, and he'll just deal with wherever he's drafted. If it's third round, second round, he'll hope he tests well and so forth. The reason I bring it up is because Texas has a nice path. They have a very nice path. They ought to be able to handle Clemson, who's one of the weaker teams in the field. And then it's Arizona State, who's the weakest team in the field, according to SP+. And then at that point, you're into the semifinal, and you're playing, finally, a like talent. You're playing either Ohio State or Oregon. That's the first like talent game. That's a very nice draw. The best draw is Penn State. Penn State got the easiest draw.
I agree.
By 100 miles. They get SMU at home. They're 9-point favorites. That's a noon game, by the way, on that Saturday, the 21st. Then that feeds into Boise State.
And Boise State likes to run the ball. And what is one thing that Penn State does well? Defend the run.
So that's what you're saying. You're talking about Penn State having to beat SMU at home, then Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, all to get to a national semifinal where they will play the winner of likely Notre Dame and Georgia. Like, you don't give Indiana much chance against Notre Dame, do you? Do you, Reese?
I'm not going to count them all the way out. They do some crazy stuff. I got Notre Dame winning the game, but if Indiana did do something to win that game, it wouldn't all the way shock me.
Marcus Freeman loses to Northern Illinois and Indiana. That might be.
Well, he's getting NFL offers. Have you not seen the rumors?
I have not seen the rumors.
Yeah, he's apparently.
I just think they're playing so well at this. I mean, Notre Dame, yeah. I mean, Indiana is 2, I guess.
I was about to say
they, covered Purdue at the last game of the season.
Ultimately, it always comes down to.
They look great here.
It comes down to the trench play. Did they? Because Ohio State blitzed them, and they figured out they couldn't pick up blitzes right, and Ohio State kept blitzing. So. Notre Dame probably will do the same thing.
They took Michigan's best punch.
Who?
Indiana.
Yeah, they did. That's what I wouldn't say if they won the game, it wouldn't all the way shock me.
Look, the team that was rewarded the biggest in all of this, other than Penn State, is Georgia. Now, they've played the most brutal schedule, but they're going to get a Sugar Bowl, so that'll essentially be a home game. They're going to sit and wait and get healthy. They're going to sit and wait. They're going to get Notre Dame or Indiana. They'll have more talent than either team, although I think Notre Dame could give them a bit of a go. But then should they get through that, it's going to likely be Penn State.
Can they win it without?
In the semifinal.
Can they win it without Carson Beck?
I thought they did enough. I think they can win how they beat Texas.
Okay.
I think they're good enough defensively that they can win how they beat Texas and get to the national championship game. Like, just compare that map. Either the Penn State map, the Notre Dame map, the Georgia map. Compare that to the Oregon map. You telling me the Ducks wouldn't want to switch?
You talking about with Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You think Oregon wants to play Ohio State in the Rose Bowl?
No.
And provided we beat Tennessee, and then we're going to play a national semifinal game against likely Texas?
Yeah, no.
Like, Oregon's got to go Ohio State, Texas to get there. Georgia's going to have to go Notre Dame and probably Penn State to get there, to get the national title.
You don't see Arizona pulling the upset?
No, I do not see Arizona State pulling the upset. I do not. No. I think that the lines tell you what you need to think of. Texas is an 11-point favorite over Clemson. That's the reality of it.
See, I don't know how real like that. Like Clemson has not looked the best.
But kidding.
But they have a good coach. that understands how to get his team prepared for championship atmospheres and environments. So I think that Texas game might be close. What you say the spread is?
11.
I would take Clemson in the points.
They're lucky they didn't play another 5 minutes against SMU.
I'd take Clemson in the points.
This is Clemson. Here's Clemson's 3 losses. Georgia beat them 34-3. Louisville beat them 33-21, and then they lost to South Carolina 17-14. Those are their losses for them. Their one ranked win is they beat number 8 SMU 34-31.
At the right time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you,
it's Miami's, it's Syracuse's fault. Kyle McCord did this for them.
He did, yeah, because he beat Miami. If you were to put right now, what is your gut feeling? Don't think about it, both of you. Your gut feeling on the national championship game.
Oregon, Georgia.
I was just going to say the same thing.
It's such a tough path.
Oh, you got Oregon, Notre Dame. Who you got?
No, I got Georgia.
Oh,
yeah. I got Georgia.
Because Georgia
Oregon in the Big Ten title game was so offensively it just felt like they had the answer to everything.
My question,
it was so easy.
The only reason why that game would scare me is because I'm not 100% convinced that since the last time we played them till now that our corners got that much better. That's because I don't have the answer. I don't know. I don't know if we play the ball. It was
which receiver went out?
Trayshawn Holden
with the Igbenogson when he spit.
Trayshawn Holden.
Yeah, and they didn't have Birch in that game either.
Yeah, they didn't have Jordan Birch. Yep.
Yeah, so they'll have him, and yeah, they'll get a sit and wait after you play a slobber knocker against Tennessee, which is going to be a physical test.
And then, I mean, I agree that our pass rush got a little bit better because we switched up some stunts and some things like that, so that got better. That'll be interesting to see if that translates to Dylan Gabriel because he stood back there and patted that ball all day long.
All day.
And I just need to see if our DBs make plays on the ball. That I don't know the answer to that question. It's sad to say that, but I don't know because I feel like we don't get PBUs and we did get picks, so I don't know the answer if we play the ball really well.
Oddly enough, Ohio State has only played Tennessee once. Ironically enough, Austin Ward, before he covered Ohio State, covered Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And he'll join us coming up next in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Giant Eagle, your one-stop shop for all your holiday gatherings. Deals for Days means tons of discounts on all your favorite celebration items. Featured items are only available at amazing prices for a limited time. Don't miss out. Giant Eagle and Market District's Deals for Days for the holidays.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus location and save up to $30 on auto repair with our AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through December 31st. See store for details.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
And he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Well, buddy, you've had almost 24 hours to think about the draw that the Buckeyes received. Where are you now with it?
Well, it's challenging, and I think you can look at it two ways. You have a chance, if you're Ohio State, to go out and prove that you were underseeded, or prove that it doesn't matter who you put in front of them, that you are the most talented team, the best team in the country, and there can be no argument if you get to the end of it with 4 wins that you will have earned that trophy, and no one gave you a clear path or a second chance that wasn't deserved, or however you want to look at it. And that's really, I think, the only way that the Buckeyes would look at it, because there's no point in quibbling at this point with, the logical inconsistencies from the selection committee, or, feeling like what happened was unjust. They lost the game, and they lost their ability to really complain about that.
Yep.
And so they're not. And, you and I might do that, Bo. I don't know to the extent that you're worked up about it, but I got it out of my system yesterday, and now I'm looking forward to a bunch of really good games and a huge opportunity to cover Ohio State and Tennessee in the Horseshoe.
Yeah, I said exactly what you did. Do I think it's the most difficult path? Yes, by 100 miles of any team in the field. It's the hardest path for sure. You're going to play like opponents all the way if the seeding holds. So that's harder than anybody has. And you beat Penn State a month ago. We all watched it. So that's the thing that's hard to wrap your head around. But when you lose to Michigan at home, a bad team, you lose the ability to complain is kind of where I am.
Yeah. And I understand that part. I mean, I think I've said this before, and last week I kind of, we could look and project and say, 6 is the ceiling, 8 is the floor, and if you get 1 or 2 results that go your way, you should move up based on the way that the committee has handled this over the last decade. Now, this is the first time that they've done it in a 12-team playoff, and every committee is going to be different. I think the frustration is simply looking at they wanted to use the win-loss record for almost everybody, but it didn't apply to Ohio State. They wanted to give the benefit of the doubt to some teams with strength of schedule, which they did, but they did not apply that necessarily to Texas and their strength of record. So, yeah, I mean, we could do that all day, and I did that on Sunday, and really we've done that for the last week. But at the end, it won't change it. And, I just wish that some foresight had gone into the actual format in advance, because we could all see a lot of these problems coming in advance, and they did nothing but said, well, here's the way it's going to work, and if we have to adjust it down the road, we will. It blows my mind that is the way that college football continues to operate, but that's been the entire time that you and I have both been covering this sport.
Austin, in your opening, it says that a certain team has offered you money to tell Ohio State secrets to them. I want to know where your loyalty lies. What can you tell us about Tennessee? Tell us.
Yeah. I got multiple text messages before 8 a.m. this morning from people in Knoxville, planning either fans or media, people coming up for Columbus next week. There's no doubt that they're not going to be getting information out of me going into this matchup. I did enjoy my time in Knoxville without question. I've said before, if there was ever like a dream non-conference matchup, home and home series that needs to be set up, I mean, these are two of the Neyland and the Horseshoe are two of the cathedrals of college football, and you will not find two more passionate fan bases anywhere. I think Tennessee takes the cake for that in the SEC, to be totally honest with you. And there are a lot of similarities between these two programs and the way that their passion drives the fan base and fuels everything that happens inside it. But there are a lot of people down there that are hoping to get insight. I'm going to try my best to just get more about the Vols than they get out of the Buckeyes from me.
Austin, how well will they travel up here for this one? We know they only have 3,500 allotted, but secondary market they can clean up if they want. Do you think you'll see a lot of? I mean, we're going to hear Rocky Top. If you've never been to a game where Tennessee plays, they play Rocky Top every 6 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to travel well. The 3,500, that stuff, I bet it was gone already. I don't really know how their on sale went with their boosters and donors, but that stuff will have been gone in 3 seconds. And I know the secondary market is not going to be a detriment to this fan base. They will be here. I know of multiple people that were hitting me up about that this morning, about when to get here, or what time to get here, when we were hanging out for beers. I'm like, I'm working, man. I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I'm not going to a Tennessee tailgate. I'm going to promise you that right now. But they'll be here, and I think that, I hope that Ohio State fans, I understand their frustration, don't have to keep repeating that over and over, but after 9 days, I think I'm hearing from a bunch of Ohio State fans that they are, somewhat ready. The scar is not ever going to fade, but that they are embracing this opportunity to host a playoff game in the Horseshoe for the first time. It is an SEC team coming north. They've wanted this, forever, an opportunity like that. Some of the ticket prices, I know that they're going to be relatively daunting if you don't get them when they go on sale on Thursday and get one of the $100, $180 tickets. I understand all that, but I think there is some element of excitement returning for the fan base, that the realization maybe has sunk in that, yes, the rivalry was lost, but a chance to win a national title still exists, and everything else that is wrapped up with a primetime game on the 21st is going to be pretty cool.
What is something that Ohio State has to fix on the football side, to beat Tennessee?
Yeah, Tyvis, I'm going to sound a little bit like a broken record, but this is another strength on question mark matchup for the Buckeyes, with everything that's been going on with the injuries on the offensive line and the problems that they had in the game. Tennessee has built a group of pass rushers that, they sort of designed a complementary defense. They want to push the tempo and they want to throw the football on offense, and they've got a power running game too, but they want to go fast, and they expect to get in shootouts where then they can send these elite pass rushers off the edge and try and impact the game with sacks and TFLs and things like that. They're very good. They're NFL caliber ends. I think that's a little bit different than what just happened against the Wolverines, where the strength was with those two really high-end defensive tackles, which also happened to be right where Ohio State was in the midst of that transition, replacing Seth McLaughlin. But it's going to come down to that, and I know that sometimes can be an oversimplification, but Tennessee's offense is not what you would have expected from the previous couple of years of Josh Heupel. They've been a little bit inconsistent and sometimes downright bad in games at times this year. But their defense is going to be built to attack some things where Ohio State has struggled recently. So we're going to see in the days ahead if there's another move or two moves coming for the Buckeyes with, does Carson Hinzman need to move to guard? Does Luke Montgomery need to step in? Or Josh Padilla maybe playing at center? We'll see how those pieces and those dominoes fall this week, because I don't think Ohio State is going to be content to stand pat after what happened 9 days ago. And the urgency has to be there, because not only is it Tennessee's defensive line in the opener, but then we know what Oregon's could do in the week after that. And, if the seeds hold, as Bo said, every single one of them are going to have elite defensive lines after that. So that is the biggest challenge, not just on the 21st, but beyond.
Every single one of us at the start of the year said there are 4 teams that had more talent than everybody else: Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas. To win a national title, you're going to have to beat all 4. That's the reality of the Ohio State path, just in terms of sheer talent on all of those rosters. I wanted to ask you about the portal. It officially opens today. We know 4 names are in, Devin Brown one of them. Do you expect how many more? Do you expect anybody in the starting 22-ish contributors? What do you expect to see here in the next couple of days?
Yeah, I think that there's a possibility that a couple other players in the 2 deep could put their name in there, and I wouldn't be surprised, Bo, if this winter portal season becomes one where somebody puts their name in just to see what the market value is. I think players are becoming savvier about that. Ohio State is having more conversations preemptively, proactively to make sure that doesn't happen, whether that's NIL or revenue sharing down the road. But you have so many agents involved, which is more than just like Urban used to call them third uncles. I mean, there's more people saying, hey, you know what, you could the best way to find out what your actual value is to have conversations. And Ohio State doesn't want to do that in the midst of the playoff push, but I do think that's why some of this conversation was ongoing yesterday about could players, put their name in and stay through the playoffs. And the answer to that is yes. They're all going to be handled on case-by-case basis. The basis is, as Devin Brown mentioned, I think Gabe Powers is another one that Ohio State needs to keep. But, yeah, this is not going to be the end of it. And, I think we would all love if they decided to wait until after the season was over, and whether that's in the national title game or December 22nd. Clearly Ohio State would have a preference in that. But the calendar is an absolute mess, Bo, and there's no easy way to clean that up. But yeah, this will go beyond 4, and I won't be surprised if there are a couple other names that are important to the Buckeyes, not just for the future, but for the playoff.
Yeah, the calendar is just such a broken mess. Absolutely is. After all of the complaining, though, we're going to get a great game, and it's going to be a night game at the Shoe between Tennessee and Ohio State. Appreciate your time, buddy. As always, we'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. Have a great week. See you.
Have either of you guys ever been to a game where Tennessee plays football or basketball?
No, sir.
No, on both accounts.
I'm not kidding you. They play Rocky Top every 30 seconds. It's constant. Constant. First down, Rocky Top. Touchdown, Rocky Top. Sack, Rocky Top. In the breaks, Rocky Top.
You think they're going to play that in the shoe?
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. They play it. They will play it. It's a really cool fan base, and he's right. Neyland's a cathedral. But it's constant. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Learn more at USPS.com/advantage.
The Ohio State Coaches Daily Show is brought to you locally on The Fan by Credit Union of Ohio.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. 80-66, Ohio State defeats Rutgers. Congratulations, Jake, on the victory. You had to love a lot of things about how your team bounced back and how they approached this game today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I think, I'm so thankful and praise God every day for the group of guys we have in this program, and what a resilient group. Certainly we were all disappointed in that first half of the Maryland game, and I think we were able to get really just we talked about being in attack mode. That was the message, attack mode. We were not in attack mode then. We were tonight, and I felt like we were in attack mode over and over and over again. And how about the crowd? Great crowd, great energy. I thought that helped us seal it in the second half, and we our guys fed off the energy of the crowd. So really appreciate everybody coming out today.
All right, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
80-66, the final. Ohio State defeats Rutgers.
Coach, when you talk about that attack mode, what were the things in practice that you wanted to make sure you got across to your team to make sure they were ready to play the way they played today?
Ron, there's an urgency, and you've been around us. There's an urgency we operate with, and the expectation to operate with on a daily basis every time you step in this building, every time we step on the court, practice, game. And we didn't have that in that game, so we got back to that. We made it very specifically made it about that. There's some technical things that we didn't execute well enough defensively in the Maryland game. And, I was really, really proud of how our collective group executed, the game plan defensively this game. Because they have two really, really gifted players, and they got great supporting cast. and for us to keep them, at 30 combined and relatively inefficient was really impressive.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Sarah, it's been ages. How are things?
Hey, Lisa. Things are okay, I guess. Things with Mark haven't felt the same lately.
Oh, Sarah, that is so common. It could just be ED or low testosterone.
Really? I didn't even think about that. I was blaming myself.
Yeah, Jim had ED and low T. I thought I was doing something wrong, but it's just a medical condition. Now he's passionate about his job again, lost a little weight, and even put on some muscle since he went to Columbus Men's Clinic. They specialize in ED and low T treatments, and you should see the way he looks at me now.
Columbus Men's Clinic delivers powerful, personalized treatments to reignite the passion in your relationship, even if other pills and treatments haven't done the job. Don't let ED or low T put a damper on what should be the best time of the year.
I forgot how we used to feel. I got my husband back.
Dial 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com today and rekindle the magic, because you both deserve to feel the joy this season brings. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, so Saturday night after losing the Big Ten championship game to Oregon, Penn State's James Franklin and Drew Aller, among a couple other Nittany Lions players, were holding a press conference. It sounded like it was only a couple feet away from where the Ducks were celebrating a Big Ten championship.
This is for Drew.
Wait. We can hang tight for just a second. We'll try to get that audio turned down next door.
I got no issue with them celebrating, but this is kind of a JV setup.
Thing or not
for him. Good for him.
Sorry.
He's right.
I am so sorry.
Good for him.
He ain't wrong.
No, he's right.
Wrong.
It's ridiculous.
Like, why would y'all put it right next to where they celebrate that? Like, that made no sense. But he's absolutely right. That is definitely a JV setup. They should have been on opposite ends. But yeah, good for Oregon for really celebrating their first year in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think if you're, that's crazy that that's the case. I mean, the reality, and that was our good buddy Rich Scarcella on the call there, on the question. He's the one who had the question for Drew Aller. Penn State, again, I never felt that Oregon was going to lose the game. It just felt like if they needed another score, they could get one. But Penn State did have the ball with 2 minutes, and Drew Aller was intercepted at the 46-yard line. So they had a chance to go try and put themselves in position to tie or win the game. It's pretty crazy when you think about Penn State's path here and what has been done for them. Their best win on the season is a win at home against Illinois, 21-7. People always do that, and I always think this is a little dicey. Like you judge like where a team is ranked at the end versus what they were at that time. So right now, that's their only ranked win Their two best wins, honestly, are losses to Ohio State at home and Oregon. That's their best wins. They're 2 losses. They don't really have anything that you stand out with. So they got an incredible benefit of the doubt. They really, really did.
It still bothers me that they are that close, and they don't even recruit at a high clip. But they lost to Ohio State by 7. They lost to Oregon by 7. They're arguably the 2 best teams in the conference.
The Oregon game wasn't that close, though.
I know.
Did you think?
Well, I tell you what, Drew did some things that I was like, okay, because I was out on Drew. I thought,
they don't have receiving talent. Like, if they got him a couple receivers, he might be okay.
I agree with you, but he got that Trey Wallace involved, and he made some nice plays in the end. So I can see the vision there. Problem is, I think he's leaving after this season, so they got to start from scratch.
It would be smart of him, too, because it's a really bad quarterback class.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of Shedeur, people might talk themselves into him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
All the quarterbacks that's leaving, I mean, that's going to be the thing. It's going to ultimately come down to when you get on that chalkboard, drawing it up, talking the right thing, and testing.
Transfer portal opened up today. It'll go to December 28th. This coming out about 10 minutes ago, Chip Traynham, Kentucky running back, has entered the NCAA transfer portal. So this will be his 4th school, depending on where he lands.
That's not good.
Thing or not a thing?
Well, that's not a good thing because when you keep jumping like that NFL teams do look at that like, why are you doing that? Secondly, I mean, he could have. Well, no, he couldn't.
No, he couldn't have stayed here. They pushed him out.
Yeah. He got paid at Kentucky for 1 year, and I guess he's going to the highest bidder. I guess he feels like,
You hit it right now.
The NFL is probably a long shot, so let's get as much money as we can, which is smart by him.
There are 2 different things that happen in the portal. One thing is Devin Brown. I battled. There's not a path for me. Somebody had a conversation with me about the starting quarterback position next year, and it's not going to be mine, right? Yeah. And not only that, based on his decision and the timing of it, my guess is the starting quarterback conversation went something along the lines of there won't be an ability to compete for it. Yeah. Julian Saint's the future of the program, and if you want to back him up, that's great, but that's the reality of it, and Devin left.
Yeah.
And so Devin's going to get a chance to go play somewhere, and that's one way where the portal is very valuable and helps. The other thing is what I think you just nailed with what Chip Traynham's doing, which is how can I make the most money possible in this window? And there's a lot of guys that are going to do that.
Yeah.
That are just trying to make the most money possible, that there's probably very little of an NFL career. And one of the biggest things that he's got going on his resume is that he played here. And at one point, they gave him a scholarship. So he's going to be valued to somebody because somebody's going to say, this guy was a dude at Ohio State. They gave him a scholarship. They gave him carries.
He was starting. He had a couple games where he actually started. So
Look what happened to Dallin Hayden at Colorado. He didn't do anything at Colorado.
That one blows my mind. I thought he'd go there and be a lot better than what he was.
He didn't do anything.
So this came out last night about Juan Soto signing a massive 15-year, $765 million contract with the Mets. Largest deal in professional sports history. That's a no-brainer. Jorge Castillo from ESPN had a couple of interesting notes about the contract. He can either opt out after the 5th year, which is in 2029, or he can receive a $4 million raise per season, which would jump it from $51 to $55 million for the remainder of that contract.
So after 5 years,
he can get a raise,
or he can leave.
Correct.
Well, you know what he's. Really?
Thing or not a thing?
What are we talking?
Well, but he'll be 32-ish, 31, 32.
Now, yep.
Bo, stop
at
it.
The opt-out.
You know what he's doing.
Opting out and redoing it.
Would you opt out and redo it, or would you just take the 55?
Well, I would take the 55 and forget about it, but I think he could vary up. I mean, Alex Rodriguez did this years ago. He signed that $352 million deal, then opted out and had the Yankees redo it, and then he got more. So he could play that game and redo it. I'll lean on you on this, Reese, because you follow baseball a lot closer to me than I do. I haven't heard anybody when they say who's the best player in baseball say Juan Soto.
Oh, he's up there. He's one of the best hitters in baseball.
Tyvis is right. He's up there. And he at 26 is enough to where if you have solid pitching, more solid than probably what the Mets have, which is why I question this whole thing.
I do too.
I do think for a guy like the Mets owner whose name's escaping me, a billionaire. These feel like fun.
Stevie
Cohen. These are fun coupons for the most part because the money's whatever. And as you see the contract kind of break down over the 15 years, they're able to do stuff that's team and player friendly. I don't think the Mets should have done this, but I understand if Steve Cohen is only interested in making those kinds of big splashes for revenue and put butts in seats, because Juan Soto will provide you that in the 5-year window. But if you don't win anything...
I mean, like the 10 years that follow.
Right.
Like, holy cow.
I mean, he did the same thing when he made the trade for Frankie.
Which is only just starting to pay off.
Yeah, well,
here's the thing.
He played really well last season.
He did.
If they're going to run this the way that the Dodgers are run, and you don't really care about profit, and you're just throwing money... Like, it's not your... I always think, like, the fans like, oh, my God, he's not worth that. He's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay him.
That's true.
And they're willing to pay him that, and so that's it. I just was curious because I don't follow it as close. I obviously know who he is. This is his third team, right? Fourth team? He came up with the Nationals, and then...
He went to the Padres.
Yep, Nationals, Padres, Yankees.
Yeah.
This is his fourth team by 26.
Yeah, but when you're talking about who's the best hitter in baseball,
it's not Ohtani?
No, they would probably say Judge, Soto, Ohtani, or you could put Judge, Ohtani, Soto.
If we're doing
he's in there.
We're doing numbers from last season.
He's in there.
It's Judge Ohtani, and if we're see, this is what the thing with it is. He's not one of the top 2 best players in baseball. Ohtani's already gonna retire with the Dodgers. Probably Judge staying with the Yankees. So this for Soto is I've got to go find another team that will give me something similar. Now he got more than that. He isn't worth more than those two, in my opinion.
I agree with that too.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Trout ever would have got to market healthy? He never gonna.
Shame.
That's it. Just never
it really is a shame.
Poor guy living in Orange County, making all that money.
Well, it's a shame for the sport.
Waking up.
Feel bad for.
Yeah, he's got one of those palatial estates in Laguna Beach. He's doing just fine. We'll blitz college football coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Ohio State men's basketball team rebounded from a brutal Big Ten opener with an 80-66 win over Rutgers this past Saturday at the Shot. Ohio State's headed to Atlanta on Saturday to battle number 2 Auburn at 1 p.m. Hear more from Ohio State hoops today at noon on the Jake Diebler Show. The 12th-ranked Ohio State women's squad won their Big Ten opener on Sunday, beating number 21 Illinois 83-74. Buckeyes will host Ball State tomorrow night. In the NFL, Week 14 wraps up tonight in Dallas. The Cowboys host the Bengals at 8:15. Hear it on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. In college football, the transfer portal opens today. The winter window runs through December 28th. On Sunday, Ohio State's Devin Brown announced plans to transfer, but will stay with the Buckeyes for playoff prep. Buckeyes are going to host Tennessee next Saturday night at 8. Winner there gets Oregon January 1st in the Rose Bowl. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
Your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Who do you think had the best media moment over the weekend? James Franklin with this is a JV setup, or Marcus Freeman in his teleconference talking about Indiana coach Curt Cignetti said, I Googled him.
Can I offer you a third? Kirby Smart taking a flamethrower to Greg Sankey with Greg Sankey standing 2 feet next to him.
What? I didn't see that.
I'll try to find the audio here in a couple minutes.
I didn't see
so he was not thrilled about the Georgia's scheduling, and Greg Sankey standing right there on the podium of the SEC title.
Oh, that would take the cake to me.
I think Sankey was banking on 9-3, 11-2, banking on it. And I think what he did to Georgia was absolutely absurd. That basically, for not playing 9 conference games, they sent Georgia through the gauntlet. And that was wild what they did to them, because they don't play Alabama every year. There was no reason for them to play Alabama this year with everybody else they were playing. They didn't need to do it. So to do that was pretty wild. So yeah, that's probably the one. Sankey's gonna have some questions to answer because he's only got 3 in.
He was thin.
Here's Georgia's head coach after winning the SEC championship.
Sankey and his staff.
You get the first round bye. What does that mean for you?
Well, it means rest for a team that Greg Sankey and his staff sit on the road all year long. We get to take a little bit of break and get ready for college football playoff. This team needs some rest mentally, need a little time off. We're going back. We're going to celebrate this one for maybe 48 hours because this is a big one. A lot of credit and thanks to the Texas fans, to the Texas team. They got a great program. Sark does a tremendous job. But these guys right here, man, never say die dogs. Never say die dogs. 2 overtime games and keep shopping.
So Laura Rutledge was the one with the microphone. Behind her is Greg Sankey.
Yeah, he's standing there. Yeah, he's had people to answer for. Just for perspective, Georgia they opened with number 14 Clemson. Then in week 4, they were at number 4 Alabama. Then they were at number 1 Texas. Then at number 16 Ole Miss. Then against number 7 Tennessee. And then they finished with number 2 Texas. That's their schedule. That's essentially what Ohio State's going to have to do to win the national title.
Yeah.
Go through all that. Yeah. That's the reality of it.
Well, it's earned. I tell you what, you can't take nothing away from Ohio State if they win this.
No, it's the toughest path anyone's ever tried to do to win a college football national championship. What's ahead of Ohio State? Let's blitz the college football weekend.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
All right, Reese, I believe I had that. What did you have?
The Bobcats, baby. 38-3. They put the boots to the Miami Redhawks from kick to bell. That was as fun of an ass kicking as I've ever watched.
That was awesome.
Did you get some championship hoodies or whatnot?
Not yet. I haven't seen what they look like.
Took like 10 minutes for your coach to get another job.
Well,
yeah, that's funny.
Boy, that's coming up because I get it, but I also don't love it.
Yeah.
Tyvis, what'd you have? You had a lot this week. 7-4. Good job.
I knew that Clemson was going to beat SMU. I knew it. It was.
Did you? In the fourth quarter, did you know it?
I was nervous, but I knew it because it just seemed like this year in college, it's just been so much chaos. And one thing that stands pat outside of Alabama is that teams that has had championship success in the past 10, 12 years, they know what it takes. When you put them in championship environments or games, they know how to get it done. And I knew Clemson would probably win that.
Yeah, they did. They were up 21-7 in the game on just an absolutely as bad a first quarter of football as you can play for SMU, and they win it with a 56-yard field goal with 16 seconds left in the game. I believe I had that. I did a nice job this week, 9-2 against the number, picking all the college games and a couple of high school ones as well. I know my 1AA football. Montana covered against the number one favorite, the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. They covered in Montana State with a resounding win in their game as well. So I know my 1AA football kids. I did not have that. What did you did not have, Reese?
Timothy Chalamet knowing football?
That was stunning.
That was one of the best things from the weekend, maybe of College Game Day all season, of Timothy Chalamet in a bright pink puffer jacket up there just delivering knowledge of these football games. Like, he's the only guy on that set to pick OU, and he was the only one who had a good enough reason as to why the Bobcats were going to win the MAC championship. I don't think any of the other guys had seen a game featuring either the Bobcats or the Red Hawks of Miami. I think one of their coordinating producers on game day was a Miami alum. So it's like, wow, we're doing it for this guy. And here comes Timothy with a great mustache, just slinging football knowledge about every single game at them.
I didn't even know he was American.
I didn't either.
I assumed Chalamet, he was French. I had no idea he was American. But yeah, he crushed it.
I did not have Georgia beating Texas. I thought Georgia was cooked. But I guess if I would have listened to what I just said about Clemson, about teams winning it all, I should have known that Georgia could have found a way to get this done. But even when they lost Carson Beck, I was like, yep, Texas is going to run away with this thing. And I got to give them credit, man. Georgia looked really good in that win. So
Gunnar Stockton took a hit near the goal line and it was a legal play.
Yeah.
That's as brutal a hit as you'll see. And then Beck comes in to do the final handoff in overtime. It was crazy. I cannot believe that you talked me into Texas. If you go back to when we picked, I'm picking Georgia the whole time, and then flipping last minute to Texas. I was picking Georgia the entire time. What I did not have, and it's the biggest miss, was I did not have the SEC missing out. I didn't think that they would get 3. I thought they'd get 4.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that they didn't get 4.
It means the Big Ten is better. They got 4.
I guess we'll find out, won't we? But I did not have that. I thought Sankey would win, and I thought he would get to 9-3, and I thought with Clemson beating SMU that it would be Bama over SMU. It was not. My beloved ponies now will go to Happy Valley. Player who impressed, Reese?
Ohio quarterback Parker Navarro, 4 touchdowns, 2 in the air, 2 on the ground. Remember, the Bobcats hadn't won a MAC championship since 1968. So there are several generations of Bobcats that can now call themselves Mid-American Conference champions.
So cool.
Good for you, man. I'm happy for you. I hope the Buckeyes win it all so I can do what you're doing.
I'm good.
Be nice. All right. For me, it was Tez Johnson. I mean, I knew Tez Johnson was a speedy and a good wide receiver, but I didn't know he was break the Big Ten record type good. I mean, if you watched him, like he was dicing them up. Like Penn State had no, and I've been saying all year that Penn State secondary was suspect to me, but Tez put that on full display. 11 catches, 181 yards and a touchdown. I mean, whenever if the Buckeyes make it to see him again, we got a game plan for him.
I went Dylan Gabriel here. I just thought he had the answer to everything on the test.
He always does.
It was so easy, so effortless. He's so calm in the pocket. There's never a time when you watch him do something and you're like, oh, that's a little bit wild or out of control. In control always. He was a joy to watch on Saturday night. Player who disappointed, Reese?
This is a whole team. Iowa State. What the hell was that? Like, for all the talk about Matt Campbell being like next up in terms of a big boy college football job.
No.
Yeah,
you blew it, buddy. Like that, it's curtains there. I mean, you could stay with Iowa State and they can continually make the Big 12 title game, but woof.
Yeah.
It might be Dillingham, honestly. Might be the guy at Arizona State.
He's the guy up next.
Guy.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
The player that disappointed for me was Quinn Ewers, man. I couldn't believe that. I just knew this was the game that he was going to go out there. He was going to get at Georgia, dice them up, look like a really good quarterback, and 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Yeah, that's not going. Ugh.
He's become a check down Charlie.
Yeah, it's sad. You know what? And last year when they was on their run, and even in the CFP, I remember just the long deep ball, because when he throws the deep ball, he put like a lot of air on it, and just watching. You know, maybe it's the receivers. You did have two fast Mitchell and Worthy. It made it a lot easier. But man, this is. I don't know. I do not know.
I texted a buddy of mine who covers Texas during the game, and I'm like, what? Can Arch not throw? Can he not throw the football? Like, what is the deal here? Where is the loyalty? Why will they not make the change? It's not like Quinn's trash, but like he's obviously limited, and the ankle's probably not helping. Yeah. And it's just strange. It's very strange.
I mean, you think about just where he was at when they played the Wolverines to what you see now.
Gosh.
Like, it's like, dude, what is this?
No, he was incredible against Michigan. Made him defend every blade of grass, as we said after we watched it. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, Reese.
I have to give it to Ohio head coach Tim Albin. Well, I guess I should say now Charlotte head coach Tim Albin. It's the first MAC championship for Ohio since, like I said, the 60s. And I'm okay if he's going to take a job that's going to pay him more, if he's looking elsewhere, if he's looking to, go somewhere to continue his coaching journey. I don't think it would have made a difference if he'd have taken it Saturday night versus if he'd have taken it on Monday. Like, don't make your team find out about it on the bus coming back from Detroit and then no-show their celebration. I'm okay with him taking the job, but would it have made a difference had he just waited a couple of days? This is another reminder, if you need one, that the changes in college football are not the fault of the athletes. It's the adults that have let them down.
Mm-hmm. Well said. I was going to say Dabo, but now, after hearing this great post-game speech, I'm switching it to Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart obviously he did a really good job having to beat Texas, but obviously him taking the shots at Greg Sankey. I mean, how could you not vote for him? I mean, look at that guy.
This guy's standing right there.
Right to his face.
It's amazing. Yeah. I'm going to go high school here. Brian Kennedy, head coach at Watterson. Good job to you. John Sansbury, head coach at Liberty. Sansbury went to Liberty, and to win a state championship at the highest level, Division I, is just absolutely awesome. And Watterson as well. Great job for all of those kids to bring home state titles last weekend up in the Canton area. One thing that I want to do, you guys got a couple of minutes to think on this. I want your final four as you see it right now. The Browns, we'll do a little NFL as well. The Browns officially eliminated, as if you needed it to be official. That's coming up as well. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
big savings?
Yep, which means...
it's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
We're back on the Nada Yada Island Confessions Show. Benny is about to tell us how he found two loves. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks to Metro, I found iPhone 12 and Apple Watch SE.
At Metro, get the perfect match of both iPhone 12 with 5G and Apple Watch SE for only $99.99. You heard that right. Both for just $99.99. Holidays with Nada Yada Yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number and ID, sign up for Metro Flex Plus, and add a watch line. Not available if you're with T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days. Limit 2 per account.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Jackets fans, we know what's on your holiday wish list. Ask your Secret Santa for a Blue Jackets holiday gift pack. You'll score 2 tickets plus a Blue Jackets helmet shirt, all for just $99. Learn more at BlueJackets.com/holiday.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. And they don't use jingles or mascots either. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
Guys, if you feel like you've lost a step or two, it could be low testosterone. Get your levels checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer at-home TRT treatment that includes both lab testing and medication. The TRT plan from Low T Center is a personalized treatment plan, and the at-home TRT plan ships directly to your door. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see a drying trend for this afternoon as high temperatures get back up above average, topping out around 55 degrees. A few spotty showers, perhaps some areas of drizzle may linger into your afternoon. Tonight, we fall down to the lower 40s. Temperatures on Tuesday will top out around 50 with scattered showers moving back in for the afternoon. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Calora.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan. Producers, co-hosts, friends. Some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, T, I'm going to start with you. Your national semifinal right now.
Oregon, Texas, Penn State, UGA. Or Georgia, excuse me.
Reese?
I had Oregon, Texas, SMU, and Georgia.
God, that'd be a man after my heart going there.
Look at that.
Get my ponies in there. So neither of you picked the Buckeyes to get to the semis. Just too tough a path.
I mean, it can happen.
Of course it can happen. Anything can happen. I wrote down the same ones you guys did. Texas, Oregon, Georgia, Penn State. I mean, Reese and I are different. I don't know if the ponies... That's a fascinating game in Happy Valley. Gosh, were you really going to bet on Franklin?
I mean, you're going to ask me to trust James Franklin. Big situation.
I mean,
no thanks.
Yeah. Listen, after you have a team celebrate and you can hear it like that, it should light a fire under you.
The stage was a little too bright for the ponies on Saturday night in the ACC title game. Just a touch too bright. The way they started was such a disaster. But it's going to play out the way that you're talking about, guys. I mean, we're talking about if it goes the way T and I are saying, then it's 2 Big Tens and 2 SECs. And Ohio State, Oregon is going to be – would I be surprised if the winner of that game wins the national championship? No.
I honestly, on the road, at a neutral site, the Rose Bowl, I think the Buckeye fans will probably overtake that. I mean, they could win that game. Don't get me wrong. They could win it. I could totally see them winning that game. They should have won it the last time.
We're just all so scarred by what we saw the last time we watched them play.
That might be what it is.
I think that's what it is. The last time we watched them play, we were just It just didn't make any damn sense.
You watch that, and then you watch Oregon and how good they looked. It was just.
When you think about the Ohio State-Oregon game back in October, that was 2 offensive lines ago for the Buckeyes.
Right. Yeah.
So, a lot has and a lot probably will happen in the next 2 weeks for Oregon. But and I did, my Heisman balloting yesterday. Dylan Gabriel was on it.
He was unbelievable.
I'm going to tell you right now. They go out here against Tennessee, and they put it on Tennessee. I'm back. Oh, I'm back. OSU winning it all. I'm back.
If they do that, though, just think about the physical toll that will take.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Like, Oregon is going to sit from now until New Year's Day. Is it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
New Year's Day. It's the first.
The first, of course, Rose Bowl.
Well,
so they got that.
Listen.
So they're chilling for 4 weeks.
We played a physical Alabama and then beat an Oregon team.
You did, but that Oregon team wasn't built like this one was. When you guys, I'll never forget this. I've told this story many times. When I got to the convention center in Dallas for Media Day between you guys and Oregon, and I saw you guys go in and then they followed you, and I saw them walk in, and I went, oh, they don't got it. They don't have it in the lines of scrimmage. They don't have it at linebacker. They don't have it physically. They did not have the matchup that they needed. And watching you guys just go toe-to-toe with Bama and Zeke run 85 yards through the heart of the South, you go, okay. At the worst case, you're going to be able to run it on them. And you did.
Yeah.
This Oregon team's not like that.
I tell you what, I give them a lot of credit. They are more physical than ever before. I know, like, coming in, that was like the thing. Could they be physical? Because for so long, they were such a finesse team. They are very physical.
Dan Lanning, and this, I said this in the summer. Reese, you remember this conversation we had? Like, who's the biggest threat in the Big Ten to Ohio State going forward? It was Oregon. Because Dan Lanning was under Kirby Smart at Georgia. He knows the type of players you have to recruit to beat those type of teams, much as Urban did here. Think about how Urban transformed it here in recruiting, the type of player he was trying to go get. Lanning's doing the exact same thing at Oregon. And the difference is, the one thing that Oregon couldn't do in the old days was use their financial might of their biggest booster to directly influence players. So what they had to do was uniforms and facilities and all that stuff. And you were out there. You know how cool that place is.
I'm telling you right now, we got some work to do. We got some work to do. Them facilities in Oregon. Oh, my goodness.
So now you have that. And what else do you have? Now it's legal.
They're giving you some money. They're putting a decent amount of coin in your pocket, too.
They're putting coin in your pocket. They flipped the corner from Ohio State last week on signing day.
Best gear, best facilities.
Yeah. So they are the biggest threat. And I know that sounds odd considering we just lost to our most hated rival for the 4th straight year. But Michigan's a real threat, too, with what they're going to do with the Oracle money if they're going to continue to be engaged.
Where did they finish? Didn't they finish like 6 in recruiting? 6 or 7?
Oregon ended up better than us.
Really?
Yeah, Oregon was 4th, Ohio State 5th.
And I think Michigan was either 6th or 7th.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is going to be quite the interesting next 3-4 years. I tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're locked in. They're dialed into it. They're ready to go on a recruiting side of things. And the thing that makes this road just so interesting from the Ohio State perspective is nobody really knows what pressure is on Ryan Day. I don't.
What do you mean? What pressure? What?
Well, I've gotten 1,000 people either text me or on social say, well, if he doesn't beat Tennessee, is he fired?
No.
I don't think that's the case at all. As I went over last week.
37 million reasons why he won't be.
It's not even that. It's 30, and it's another 20 for roster, plus it's probably another 10 for recruiting inducements, plus, and it's hiring a new coach.
You're talking about like $80 million if you decide to make that move.
I think that's conservative.
Yeah.
Because the next coach is going to be close to 100 if you're going to do that. So sometimes it's just finances. So I don't know what, it's interesting that our gut feeling was like, don't go loyalty, just go gut feeling how you think it's going to go. I just don't know what to make of what you're going to get out of the Buckeyes on that Saturday night.
Talking about Tennessee?
I'm talking about Tennessee.
Well, that's the thing. They got to buy us back in. Like the last time we seen, we don't know the mindset of them going into this game. Like, was that loss against Ann Arbor? Like, was it that much that you can't bounce back from? Did the coaches and the players get that trust back that we're back together? Like, I don't know. That's the question. I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know what I think they'll win the game. I got them winning Tennessee, but I don't know if it'll be like a dominant win. Like,
I think Tennessee's too good for that. Don't you? I mean, especially their strengths on the defensive line and ability to run the football.
I think the Buckeyes have the talent to make what you think is a good defense not look like a good defense.
They do. We did not do that against Michigan. We chose other ways.
Well, that's part of the problem.
If they're honest and actually learned from mistakes made against Michigan, then the ball gets aired out more. And if you can get into a track meet with Tennessee, okay.
I don't think they...
Because I think I trust Will Howard more than I would trust Nico Iamaleava.
For sure.
I don't think they can compete with us in the track meet, though.
So, like... And it's the same thing that drove me nuts about 2022 with Georgia. It was like that game was you played to your strengths and you went wire to wire with one of the best teams in the country.
But this what gets me. We sat here on this very program and we compared Will Howard to Dylan Gabriel, and we was like, look at the numbers, look at this, put coin on. It's some good coin to put some money.
There's 40,000 to odds.
But this the thing, when you watch Dylan Gabriel in there, he was your player of the week.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at Will Howard and it just looked like that?
I haven't looked at our offense and it looked like that since CJ was here.
That's my point. But we have better players.
I think, but they put him in position to succeed. There was not a second in that game I thought Penn State would win. Even if Penn State found a way to tie it, I knew that Oregon could go get more points. It was so easy for them.
They
up
make
and down the field.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where we need to, like, don't get me wrong, we did it against the Purdues and the Northwesterns and all of that.
No, it wasn't easy.
But like a good team, like, I need to see it look like a hot knife through butter. We just boom, straight down the field.
Buddy, the Oregon receivers were running free.
Yeah.
There wasn't anyone near them.
Yeah.
That's scheme.
It is.
And it's execution.
Yeah, what is
out of the quarterback.
I tell you that they had no answer for Tez. I mean, he was dicing that. Whoever that nickel is for Penn State, man, he probably waking up still just thinking about Tez. It's ridiculous.
I'm looking at the extended. We play the night of the 21st. The high is 34. So right now, it's a ways out. So, you
it
can change a lot. But right now, the high is 34. The low is 23. So it'll be in the high, odds are it's going to be in the high 20s, low 30s. And the question is there wind and is there precipitation? Because that's what would also change kind of the way the game is played. But lots of time to break that down between now and then. Another week in the books for the NFL. The Bengals in action tonight. I'll get you set for that one. You'll hear from the Browns as well as they are officially eliminated from postseason football. That's coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Save big money on your next project at Menards. Insulate your home and start saving on energy costs with Owens Corning Pink Foamular insulation panels. They're moisture resistant and rugged enough to be used anywhere, even underground. They're available in many different sizes and thicknesses to fit any project. Get a 2x2 project panel today for only $4.99. Sale price good through December 15th. Plus, check out our flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
All the season's greetings to you all from Menards.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. For every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 free, no limit. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments. Call them today, 614-502-5220.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure. But why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Cleveland Browns officially eliminated from postseason play with the... What were we thinking, Reese? Or did you pick Pittsburgh?
I had Pittsburgh.
No, you...
Because I knew what Jameis would do.
I would have took Pittsburgh too. You took Cleveland.
I thought they'd cover. I thought they'd lose, but cover. I thought maybe they were on to something. It's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back.
Because I had the 6.5, and I knew Jameis is good for 7 points the other way.
Boy, yeah.
Well, he got delivered from pick sixes. His picks in general.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Still fun.
The Browns dropped to 3-10. They are officially eliminated from postseason play. If you watched in-season Hard Knocks last week, that was before the loss to Denver. Kevin Stefanski said, "You want the playoffs? You're in the playoffs." Well, they're not in the playoffs anymore, even figuratively. They are officially eliminated. They dropped to 3-10. It was, This is the thing that I think is going to be very difficult for them. Is how do you evaluate this season?
The Browns.
How do you know what you have going into next year? Because that's where they're at now.
I mean, you got to look at these last. I tell you what, these next 4 games will tell you, what you got. You got the Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, and Ravens. I mean, you got to look at. You got to figure out where you got to make your impact in the offseason. I think that's what this boils down to. Obviously.
Well, you got to make a quarterback decision is what you got to do first.
Hey, and that's true, too. I mean,
and it start there. Like, they have to decide, do we want to run back the Jameis Winston experience for the good and the bad of it? And it's both. I use that analogy with my brother and his then girlfriend. Jameis Winston is fully formed. He's not going to be something other than what he is, which is a great leader. He's a great leader. He's fun. He puts in all the time. He's got a big arm, but he will throw it to you and to them.
People thought the same thing about Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, and all of those people. They thought
No, that's not true. I disagree. That's not true. Not with Sam. Sam never got this type of runway. Jameis has played a lot of football. Sam Darnold didn't play a lot of football. Not like Jameis.
Yeah, Jameis has had starts with 3 separate teams, legitimate opportunities to go be QB1.
That's true. Geno?
He's over 30 years old.
What about Geno?
Geno's a little different, but I'd have to go back and see if Geno
Which New York
had
team
a
was Geno with?
propensity.
The Jets.
He's at the
Okay.
Giants. He's with both.
He was with the Giants?
He's the reason that Eli Manning's consecutive start streak got pushed, missed. He started the game that Eli
But he got
benched.
drafted by the Jets.
Correct.
And he left the Jets and went to the Giants?
Yes. He's the quarterback that they replaced Eli Manning with for, and that broke his streak. I'm going to pull up Geno's historical stats just so we have some perspective. He's an interesting one. He's around the same age as Jameis when he got the job. So here is Geno. Geno got 30 starts over 2 years with the Jets. It's a lot of interceptions. He started, then he's benched the last 2 years with the Jets. Then he starts the 2 games for the Giants, including the one where they pulled Eli. Then he went to the Chargers. Then he backed up for 2 more years in Seattle before finally winning the job and flipping. Now, he's still 1-to-1 touchdown interception. As well as they're playing, he's got 14 touchdowns, 12 picks this year. Geno does.
That's not great.
So I think for the Browns, what Jameis gives you an opportunity to do is evaluate your receivers, your offensive line, all of that stuff. In the meantime, they have to evaluate him because they're not running back Deshaun Watson. So at the very least, they're not going to start the season that way because Deshaun's not going to be ready until December, and I don't even know if they would do it then. So I think what this is really about is, do you want Jameis Winston to be your starting quarterback to start the 2025 season? Yeah, that's where we're at.
That's been the question. That's and he's got 4 games to prove. I think this next game is very telling. You know, going up against top quarterback, one of the top teams in the league. How does everybody look? How does the coaching staff coach? How does the players perform? How does the quarterback do? Because the last time you played the Chiefs, you were, they got down to the last drive, and I think Baker threw a pick, right, on the last drive?
That was in the playoffs, yeah. You talking about the playoff game?
No, because they played the year after the playoff game, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Down there, they opened the season, didn't they?
Was it an opener? Or was it the second game?
It was definitely early. They went down there, Baker, and they played him toe-to-toe with him.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So that was the last time we've seen him since, right? We haven't played him since then, right?
I don't think so, no.
So the last time you played him, you was a game-winning drive away from winning or tying that game, I should say.
Think about how much has changed.
I know. Ain't that crazy?
Like from Baker, being like a franchise guy.
We 3 quarterbacks away. We 3 quarterbacks from removing.
Giving him away for a bucket of balls and then going all in on Watson. And now you're 3 years into the Watson decision and you're trying to make a decision on Jameis Winston. Can you imagine going back to that day and saying this is how the next 3 years are going to play out?
That game, week 1 of the 2021 season, the Browns led 22-10 at the half.
Yeah.
Lost 33-29.
Yeah. And you thought, okay, well, they're going to be a team of record, and then it falls off a cliff.
We was up 22-10.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we lost 39. Don't you say 33?
33-29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
Kidding me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's all that they got to figure out is what they're going to do at quarterback, and then they're going to have to identify what they want to be offensively. Do they want to be this team or they want to be the team that Kevin Stefanski was? Because you watch Sam Darnold play, and they probably can't afford him.
No.
But, you watched him play over the weekend, he's not going to be back.
No, he's not going back to Minnesota.
No.
Dude.
No. They're going to go J.J. McCarthy. They're going to get him ready. Now, McCarthy had the surgery, so maybe they could do a 2-year deal with Sam for next year or the year after, maybe. I don't know.
Talking about with the Vikings?
Yeah.
No, they got Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will start the season, and McCarthy will take it over.
Maybe.
Because they felt like Daniel Jones was a first-round pick. Same thing with Darnold. Darnold changed. He got with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan changed the way he's looked at the game of football. He said before he got with Kyle Shanahan, no coach has ever taught him football or look at certain things. So Kyle completely changed it.
Yep.
Kevin O'Connell and Kyle run similar things because they all under that same tree.
So guess who else does?
The Rams?
No, Stefanski.
Oh, yeah, Stefanski, same thing, yes.
Before they went to this nonsense with the shotgun all the time.
Well, yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
It feels like an easy decision to make where you roll with Jameis for next year. You've got Njoku for at least another season. You rework Judy's contract. Those guys have done really well under this system with Jameis over the past couple of starts. He's a guy, if you give him another offseason where there aren't any questions, there isn't any nonsense about how many snaps Watson's getting or how many air snaps he wants to do behind the ones, and you can show up maybe your offensive line, get a little younger, you're getting Nick Chubb healthier. Just do this until you have somebody you love.
You got to go into this. Yeah, I agree. Take Jameis for another year. But how to help Jameis is you have to increase the run game. The run game.
Yes, you can't put yourself in positions where you have to have Jameis bail you out because he won't.
Exactly. You got to take the ball out of this 50 pass plays a game. Come on now. It's ridiculous. Run the ball. So that maybe he throws it 25 to 28 times a game. Maybe he won't throw a pick in those 25 to 28. Maybe he'll give you the good version of himself. But the more you put him out there, the more you're going to put yourself at risk of him throwing it. I mean, anybody throw the ball 50, 60 times is going to have some picks in there. So they got to get that run game. That's the one common denominator that's not there, is that they cannot run the football. So they have to get back to doing that. That would be my key thing. Now,
we got to get back to Kevin's offense.
I agree with that too. I don't know why I know
they
why.
did it for Watson.
I know why they did it, but that They shouldn't have did that. Like, they shouldn't have chose 1 over 52. Like, they shouldn't have did that.
They made a big gamble on him, and they wanted to do everything in their power to make it pay off.
Do you think
now
Jameis,
you got to go back?
Can Jameis run Kevin's stuff effectively? That's the question.
More effectively than Deshaun. Now, I don't know more effectively than the options that are out there. I don't know.
You know what I do? I've been thinking about this. I got it. I got how we gonna fix the Browns, and everybody's gonna call me crazy, and it might sound crazy, but this is what I'll do.
Go ahead.
I'm taking my first round pick, and I'm getting either another receiver, or you can give me a tackle, whatever you want to do.
They're gonna go tackle more likely than
okay.
Not.
Second round, I'm doing whatever I didn't do in the first round.
Yep.
Third round, I'm gonna get me a running back. Fourth round, I'm drafting Dylan Gabriel. Now, why would I take Dylan Gabriel? Everybody's like, why would you take him? Well, the one sure spot is your right tackle. You got Jack Conklin for another year. Dylan Gabriel's left-handed, so his blind side is Jack Conklin. And he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks, which Baker Mayfield, y'all loved him when he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks. And I think with Kevin, you don't need all the bells and whistles. You need a guy. You need a guy that can read defense and get the ball to the guy. Dylan Gabriel can read the defense, and he can get the ball to the guy. It ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be fancy. It's not. It might not be 400 or 500 yards a game, but it's gonna be an accurate pass to his playmakers. There you go.
I don't think that's that far off.
Go
honestly.
Browns.
Yeah, I don't think that's far off.
AB, you're welcome. Send the check in the mail.
The Bengals at Cowboys tonight. Bengals' odds of making the postseason obviously very long as well. They kind of conceded that they were eliminated last week. I do think that playing on Monday night against Dallas, you will get the best of Cincinnati. I think you're going to get some fireworks out of that offense tonight.
Yeah, I would imagine that this would probably be a high-scoring game. I know Cooper. Didn't Cooper Rush have a really good game last week ago? I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
So if he's continued to stay that course, Cincinnati's
How
defense.
bad must Trey Lance be?
He's a turnover machine. The last time he was out there, he threw 6 picks or so, or 4 picks.
Yeah. He just must have nothing in it. I don't know. I think Cincinnati will have fun tonight. I think Burrow will have fun tonight. I know we'll pick it coming up in the next segment, but I think you're going to get a little bit of a show out of. I think you can't help it when you go into Jerry World and it's at night. I just think all of the feelers are there. Everyone's going to be watching. The Cowboys get a huge audience. I think whatever the best is out of Chase and Higgins and Burrow, you see it tonight. We'll pick that game. Get your 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
What do your home and auto have in common? They're yours, and Progressive protects them both. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Bob and Beam here. Tackle the NFL action on FanDuel, America's #1 sports, because right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. How great does that sound? The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So, Beam, when you get a little hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view the live play-by-play. There's so much more on the same page where you place your bets.
Absolutely. If you have a hunch that Jameis pick 6 is incoming, or maybe a 70-yard touchdown bomb, all you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/juice to join today. And listen to this. You're going to get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com/juice. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you need a new health insurance plan? Now is the time to get one. Literally. If you want Affordable Care Act coverage that starts January 1st, just make sure you apply by December 15th. But don't stress, Health Markets can help. At healthmarkets.com, you could look for available plans or find a licensed insurance agent. They'll answer your questions, and when you're ready, even help you apply for your plan. Start the new year off with a plan that fits your needs and budget by visiting healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
You might not consider yourself a tech expert, but that doesn't mean you can't protect yourself from online scammers with a little help from McAfee Total Protection. Whether it's a fake missed delivery text or an urgent bank alert, these scams can look incredibly convincing. That's where McAfee Total Protection steps in. So go ahead, manage your finances and shop online. McAfee will help keep your device's privacy and identity safer. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
During the Ram Wrap Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of Ram trucks. Right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $469 a month for 42 months with $3,652 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2.
Bo Bishop here. We teamed up with our great friends at High Bank to pick 3 exclusive single-barrel whiskeys. A portion of every bottle will be donated to Brady Quinn's Third and Goal Foundation to make a difference in the lives of veterans. A limited number of bottles are available right now at High Bank's Grandview and Gahanna retail locations. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
Billiards Plus has the area's best selection of pool tables, shuffleboard tables, poker tables, and more. Select tables are still in stock, so hurry before they run out. Find stocking stuffers galore with darts, cues, and more game room goodies. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
This holiday season, save time and make memories. Diamond Seller is your one-stop shop for luxury gifts, from diamonds to watches and the finest jewelry in the world. Gift our iconic blue box and enjoy our guaranteed best prices. Visit Diamond Seller on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, before we get to 3 things in the poll, we got an NFL game to pick, my friend.
Monday Night Football, Simpsons Fun Day Night Football. You've got the Manning cast on ESPN2. Pretty busy. You can hear it on the Fan following the Buckeyes show. The Bengals are 5.5-point favorites at the Cowboys.
I mean, you're on another. You went 9-3. Right now, you are 9-3 on NFL. That means in the last 2 weeks, what does that make you? 23-4,
something like that,
going into tonight. And I've been doing really well, but I went 8-4, so I'm hanging on by a thread. I just think Bengals handle it. I think they look good. I think they spin it around. I think you're playing on the turf, fast track. Feels like Jamar Chase would love nothing more than to have a monster in front of Jera. I don't know. Just strikes me as Cincinnati huge.
Yeah, I like the Bengals at least by a touchdown. I do think that Higgins and Chase have at least, I think both of them have over 100 yards receiving tonight.
Y'all falling for it. I'm going, give me the points plus the Cowboys.
Oh, boy.
I'm going.
They stink, Tyvis.
Listen, this is the NFL, first of all. Nobody stinks. Okay,
let me tell you something.
They're not performing.
Watch a lot of Cleveland Browns football.
They're not performing well right now, but they don't stink.
When did you and Joe cross paths in 15?
Yeah, Joe was here. I picked Joe off in practice. So what happened was, let me tell this real quick story.
You got time.
So Cardell had I forget what he had, like a headache or something. I'm at the apartment. Cardell calls the ambulance. calls the ambulance.
He called the ambulance?
Yeah, he called the air. Cardell is soft. He calls the ambulance because he claims he couldn't like see straight and all these things. So I'm coming home and I see the ambulance and I'm like, what the heck's going on? He gets wheeled out, blah, blah, blah. He goes to the hospital. Come to find out Cardell is dehydrated.
Okay.
So Cardell has to sit out of practice, right? So JT takes over and Joe is backing up JT. So we're doing
this is in 15, which was his first year.
Yeah. So JT is taking the starter reps. Joe is backing him up. And JT, it was this one pattern. It was a drive concept that they ran at Ohio State. Drive concept, for people that don't know, it's when your receiver is reduced split. So he's right by the tight end off the ball. The tight end comes up 10 yards and does a dig route while the receiver does a little drive route, a drag route underneath it. They call it a drive concept. So I knew that. I knew that they did that. And every time I would see that wide receiver cross, I knew to jump the dig route. JT knew I knew, so he never threw it. Joe did not know that. And Joe went and threw that drive, threw that dig, and I picked it off. And I remember JT like, you can't do that. He knows Tyvis literally sits on that. You can't do that. So that was my one on the field thing with Joe Burrow.
If I would have told you after that practice that guy is going to be the best quarterback in the NFL of a very short list, would you have said, yeah, sure?
I would have told you you're out of your mind, but I would tell you in 2016, after I declared for the draft, I came back and I watched some spring ball, and I remember, my wife is my witness. I came home from that practice and I told my wife, I said, baby, Joe Burrow gonna win the Heisman one day. Did
you really?
He looked that good to me. It's because he made this play where he like scrambled and threw the ball in the end zone right on the out of bounds, and the dude caught. It was a dime. It was the best throw I've ever seen in my life, and I was like, that dude is crazy. So yeah, I told my wife he'd win the Heisman. Then he transferred, and I was like, well, I don't know. And then boom, he wins the Heisman. So I was right.
You were.
I know talent.
You do. What do we have in the poll today, Reese?
A Daily Fan poll asks, other than the Ohio State-Tennessee matchup, what first-round playoff game are you most interested in? You got Clemson at Texas, SMU at Penn State, Indiana at Notre Dame. 71% say Indiana at Notre Dame, the Indiana State Championship. 14% say Clemson at Texas. 14% say SMU at Penn State.
Go Ponies. Let's go, baby.
I just want to see what Indiana does. I want to see if they legit. I do. I mean, I know that
we saw them.
I know Ohio State's a different beast. I want to see see if they was able to fix those problems that Ohio State showed that they had. That's what I want to know.
All right, time for three things on a Monday. Hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
Number one for me, we opened up the boys' league play this weekend in travel basketball. So Bootsy's team, this is third grade, so points are a premium. We led the entire game. We were up, I think at one point, 10-2, 10-4. We lead the entire game. Coach Bo ran out of timeouts. They have the ball. The opposition has the ball underneath with 4 seconds to play. I know they're going to run a box play. I know that they're going to screen the screener. And I know that it's going to be a layup to win the game. I don't have any timeouts because I had to burn one with 30 seconds to go to try to manipulate the clock and win by 1. They run the box play. I'm yelling at the kids, trying for them to hear over the crowd what's going to happen. We lost at the buzzer. At the buzzer. Did not trail the entire game until the buzzer. Brutal loss for the fellas. Bootsy in tears. Sad. Hate to see it.
Man, that hurt my soul. Wow.
Oh, dude, it's you'll be there soon.
No,
you'll be there soon.
Because I don't want to deal with that. I probably would be with Bootsy and be crying with them. Number one for me, I got to update everybody. Last week, I told everybody that they were going to do a skills challenge at the tailgate show. Well, we ended up. I said it was Brock and Kenyon, not Brock from Kenyon. So let me clarify that. Well, Brock decided, we got to the 40-yard dash. Brock decided I'm not doing that, which he was the one that called everybody out, but he didn't want to do it. So me and Kenyon ran it. Bo!
Still got it.
Come on now. He ate my dust. The first 4 steps, it was over. He said, I can't believe that you got out like that. Because I told him I was 250 pounds, so they looked at that and said, you have no chance. Yeah, I still got it.
Still got it.
First thing for me, it's being reported Carson Beck suffered a UCL injury in that SEC championship game. So Gunnar Stockton's likely going to be your starting quarterback for Georgia in that Sugar Bowl. It feels like the obvious answer, like just you have to go with that guy in the prep up to that game. Like it can't be just lingering.
Can you imagine if you're the 6 right now? If you're Ohio State, if you're the 6 instead of the team you beat? Yeah. Or no, that's Notre Dame. Notre Dame's the 6. No, Penn State is the 6.
Penn State's the 6.
Yeah, if you're the 6, just flip. Just flip and think about that path. Number 2 for me, so I'm watching these college football, these halftimes, and when you're at these games, it's even worse. These halftimes, these conference championship games with Dr. Pepper and the kicks or the passes or whatever the hell they're trying to do. After you watch McAfee give away $1 million for a 35-yard field goal,
1.2
takes 1.2 last weekend. It takes a little juice out of it when you're doing like make a kick thing with the chest pass nonsense for $100,000 in tuition. Like I like a Dr. Pepper. Not a big soda pop guy, but if I was, I like Dr. Pepper. We got to up the ante a little bit. We got to make this a little bit more money.
At least 500,000.
You can't follow McAfee giving away $1 million with $100,000.
Number 2 for me, I've made the decision that the Chiefs are living right. Everybody on the team for the Chiefs is just doing the right thing in life because I can't believe that field goal hit that crossbar when this is like, it's just the way they've won games this year. It's just so odd. So the only thing that I can point to is they living right.
You ask yourself, or you say to yourself after another Chiefs win, they can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they can. I'm going to turn this into my second thing and ask the both of you. If Dr. Pepper decides to up the ante in terms of giving money away to the person who wins the Dr. Pepper passing challenge at halftime, do you have to force them or that person to throw overhand or still chest pass it in?
Do it however you want. That's how I feel about swimming. Like whatever gets from point A to point B fastest.
Overhand.
I don't care.
I'm forcing overhand.
Real quick, third for me. Bill Belichick's not really going to coach North Carolina, is he? I mean, we're really doing this.
Listen, I won't believe it until his signature is on the paper. There's no way.
Right? I know Ryan Day's, or I mean, this is
Jake Diebler's coming up.
I mean, no way, right?
No. This is to stay relevant. This is to keep your options open. This is a smart play by Belichick, but he's not going to do anything serious until after Black Monday.
They closing in.
Nice win for Jake and the Rutgers boys over the weekend. That's coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Ohio State is now plus 475 to win the national championship. The Buckeyes are minus 280 to beat Tennessee on the money line in round 1, plus 175 to reach the semifinals, and 3-1 to make it to the national championship game. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Come try Skyline Chili's new Mac and Cheese 3-Way, made with creamy cavatappi pasta in a 3-cheese blend, topped with Skyline Chili and their shredded Wisconsin cheddar. The new Mac and Cheese 3-Way at participating Skyline locations for a limited time.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Dear everyman everywhere, we know you tried, even when you shopped the night before or the day of. We know. It's the thought that counts. It's just, what were you thinking? That we want mittens? A mug? A key finder? This year, how about lingerie from Lion's Den? Silky, sexy, lacy, lovely. It's the gift that'll give right back. Promise. Happy holidays to both of us from Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Last year, flu and COVID hospitalized nearly 1 million adults 65 and older. That's nearly 1 million men, women, parents, grandparents, chess players, checkers players, and chess players who are so bad at chess, they really should stick to checkers. So if you're one of these people, or not, get this season's flu and COVID vaccines so you can keep being the totally unique person you are, whoever that is.
Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First and Main, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions